The Lake Taylor Titans versus the Phoebus Phantoms. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium for tonight's regional semifinals Group AAA Division 5 game between the undefeated Phoebus Phantoms with a 10-0 record and the Titans of Lake Taylor with an 8-2 overall record, seeded number 4 in the division. Number 1 goes to Phoebus. Bob, the Phantoms come into this game with 22 victories in a row. They are on a roll, but of course this is the playoffs and this is a single elimination. You lose tonight, it doesn't matter what you've done all year, you're out.
You can have the best power rating in the world and you lose tonight and you don't get to suit up anymore until next fall. Tim, this is going to be a pretty good game. First time ever that Lake Taylor and Phoebus have met on the football field. Now, when Bill first got here at Phoebus, he did scrimmage a couple times with Lake Taylor, but that was different coach, different situation. But on the field, first time ever. This looks like it's going to be a pretty good ball game.
Well, I think it is, and I think what you've got on paper at least is you've got two very good defensive teams. The Phantoms have also got a great offensive team. But let's talk about the defense first of all. The Titans are 8-2. They allowed only 3 opponents to score 7 or more points against them all season. That's pretty strong.
Well, it really is, Tim, and this becomes a thing that the kids talk about and they want to continue. This is something that they'll say, okay, we haven't allowed but maybe one team to score a touchdown. That's one of our goals tonight, is to keep Phoebus out of the end zone. It's going to be a hard thing to do because Phoebus is very explosive offensively, but what I like about Phoebus is they can get the ball and they can just run it right down your throat, play after play after play, and it demoralizes you. And Tim, you could talk to the ball players. You can play offense, you play defense. Defense will wear you out quicker than offense will.
Well, and we saw in the Phoebus-Kecoughtan game that you've got to not only control the ball, but you can't turn the ball over. Phoebus had some turnovers, and they're going to have to remedy that because a good team like Lake Taylor will make you pay for them. So you have to control the ball, and you have to keep the ball in your possession, I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and that's true. Now, you look at the Lake Taylor team, Tim, they're bigger on offense than they are on defense. They're quick on defense, but offensive line, they got a pretty good offensive line. They got a young man by the name of Keith Jones, over 3,000 yards in 3.5 years. He played some games as a freshman. And they got a young man that has come and at the end of the season scored 10 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So they've got some people that can score some points. But one thing you got to watch for is this Phoebus defense. They will shut down an offense, as we saw what they did against the Warriors.
Well, let's as we've talked about a little bit about the Titans, let's go back in time right now. Bob had a chance a little earlier to talk to head coach Hank Sawyer of the Lake Taylor Titans.
Well, first of all, Coach, congratulations. Making it to the regionals has always got to be one of your goals.
Thanks a lot. Yes, that was our goal, to get it to the playoffs.
Tell me a little bit about your team.
Well, we're a very good team. We slept a couple games early in the year, and the kids have bounced back the last 4 or 5 weeks, put a run together, and here we are in the playoffs.
Well, I know that young man, Keith Jones, 3,000 yards, over 3,000 in his career. That's got to give your team a lot of confidence with a running back like that.
Well, yeah, Keith brings a lot to the table. Keith has always been the one consistent player the last 3.5 years he's been with me. I had him since the 9th grade. This is his 4th year. This is my 4th year. He's brought me to the playoffs 2 years ago against Hampton, and now here we are back again. He's just a phenomenal runner.
So, but you also have to have some good blocking, and I'm assuming that your offensive line, I looked at the weight, you got a pretty good-sized offensive line.
Yeah, we have a pretty good offensive line now. They are young. Most of them are just 2-year starters. Ricky Durham at guard, Brian Johnson at tackle, and Wayne Cowell. He anchors our offensive line at center. They're pretty good blockers, and they're pretty consistent.
What do you expect from the Phantoms tonight?
I expect them to bring a lot of speed, a lot of blitzes. I expect them to show why they are defending state champions.
So you're ready for them?
Oh, yeah, we're ready for them, right.
Well, good luck tonight, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's go back up to Tim.
All right.
All right, and that was Hank Sawyer, the head coach over at Lake Taylor. As we mentioned, they've got a very good defense, averaging just 8.4 points per game allowed. So they hold their opponents to less than 10 points a game. As I mentioned, 7 opponents did not score more than 6 points against them. They did lose twice. They lost to Indian River, which was kind of a surprise because that was not as strong a team. And then their other loss was to Booker T. Washington, which, of course, is the opponent for Kecoughtan tonight.
Well, if you look at this team at Lake Taylor, Tim, they're very similar to Woodside. Size wide and maybe a little bit more speed than Woodside. So they play very similar defenses. So this is something that the Phantoms are used to. And they, you know, what they did to the Woodside Wolverines.
Well, now let's talk about Phoebus. As we talked about, number 1 in the Peninsula District in offense and number 1 on defense at the end of the season. So they've just had a phenomenal year. They only allow 161 total yards per game, and they allowed less than 3 points a game on average. They shut out 6 of their 10 opponents. So the Phantoms' defense is solid. I mean, it's
very, very solid. Now, the only weak point that you could attack would be their defensive secondary. This team, Lake Taylor, passed early in the season and can throw the ball, but the latter part of the season they just ran the ball. But I tell you, Xavier Debe, a little banged up, hurt his shoulder, didn't play last week, and that was that was a coach's decision. But I look for him to go out there and really have a good game. But Philip Brown and DJ Parker and Elon Lewis and that offensive line and that defense, those guys are ready. They use workmanlike abilities to attack what they're going to do out there in the ball game tonight.
And a factor that you can't measure, Bob, is experience, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Lake Taylor wasn't in the playoffs last year. Phoebus, as all of us know, went all the way and won the Division V state championship. So that has to count for a lot. You've got players on this Phoebus team that have got more experience, not only in playoff situations, but also more experience on the field just in general. It's going to be a great game. We are excited about it, and we'll have it all for you. But right now we're going to go back in time once more as Bob had a chance to talk to head coach Bill Dee of the state champion Phoebus Phantoms.
Bill, first of all, congratulations, 10-0, great season, but now you got a second season.
That's right, and this is the one that's one game and out, so you gotta win every one you're in, and we're excited.
What do you expect from this Lake Taylor team? They got a young man that's run 1,000 yards this year, 3,000 in his career. But are they a one-dimensional team? Can they throw the ball?
They don't throw a lot. They're really basically option team. They got 2 backs that can really run. They got a big-time receiver. They throw it up for them. A lot of fades and things like that. And they got a lot of team speed.
Well, I know there's an article was in the Virginia Pilot. I went and bought the paper and read that article that the Holloman kid said that scholarship time against Philip Brown.
Well, all we're concerned about is winning. I don't know what their objective is. If they're playing for scholarships, then that's what they're playing for. We're playing to win.
Listen, and I know you held out Xavier last week. Shoulders bummed up, better now. Of course, not going to get well in a week, but how's he doing?
He's doing a lot better. He had some contact this week, and Xavier's going to give it everything he's got.
Well, and that I look at this team, and these guys come to work, do what they have to do. You talked about your offensive line. You're just getting better and better at every game.
Yeah, I mean, we showed improvement. We've gone through a tough district. This is a tough district. No matter how you look at it, everybody's got good players. There's good athletes, and it's a challenge every year. And, this is the first time we've ever gone through, undefeated in the district. And, that doesn't happen a lot. So, but now we're on to something else,
Well, I tell you, Bill, you've done a fantastic job. You and your coaches over there. Our hats at Channel 46 are off to you, and we just wish you the best of luck tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good enough. Now let's go up to Tim and tonight's starting lineups.
To you by Zooms with 14 friendly neighborhood stores to serve you. And by Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. In part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. Give them a call at 825-1416. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home at Hampton Center Parkway at Armstead Avenue in Hampton. Two teams are meeting at the center of the field for the pregame ceremonies and the introduction of the officials. And I was trying to spot our man down there, but I don't see Ron ESPN Baton, so he will not be in there. But we'll listen in and see if we can pick up the pregame toss of the coin.
Well, reasoning that's because you're leaders on the field. We ask at all times you keep your teams under control. If we have
evidently the
ask for a captain.
referee didn't turn on his mic. Here we go.
These penalties, ask me to repeat it. Because once you've made a decision, that decision is final, okay? We've already had the pregame toss. We flipped the coin. Phoebus won the toss and elected to receive. And Lake Taylor's going to kick it from this end. So Lake Taylor has to go around that side. Phoebus has won the toss and elected to receive. All right, gentlemen.
Phoebus Phantoms have won the toss. They have elected.
We were able to pick up some audio there at the very end. We're happy to tell you that hopefully you did hear it, but Phoebus did win the toss and will receive. There you see the officials for tonight's contest, and they are. Referee is Tim Brame. The umpire is George Adamowski. Larry Julian is the linesman. The line judge is Brent Kadish. Bernie Riesbeck is your back judge, and Bill Ferry is the field judge for tonight's contest. And here are the Phantoms on offense for tonight.
Junior. Wes King, senior. Justin Chetney, senior. Jason Bowles, senior. Matt Wright, freshman.
Darnell Allen, senior.
Phillip Brown, senior.
DJ Parker, senior.
Xavier Deavy, senior. Eden Lewis, sophomore.
There are your starters on offense for the reigning state champion Phoebus Phantoms.
Oh, one thing about the kickoffs, they're not the weak point of the Titans will probably be their kicking game. They are not very successful with their PATs, and their kickoff usually doesn't go much further than the 20-yard line.
Matt Harden will be kicking off for the Titans, and it is a low squib kick taken at the 16, 17-yard line. This is Maurice Boone, and Boone is out across the 35 to the 36-yard line, so the Phantoms will start with excellent field position. Now the starters on defense for Lake Taylor.
Terrell Golden, senior. Antoine Smith, junior. Lionel Green, senior. Julius Herring, junior. Wayne Colwell, senior. Pernell Sturdivant, junior. Celente Potter, junior. Keith Jones, senior. Seneca Turner, freshman. Adrian Daniel, senior. Philip Holloman, senior.
And we're back to the live action as the Phantoms take the ball on the very first play, and as they so often do, run up the middle with Xavier Adibi carrying, and he will pick up about 5 yards on the play. So a 2nd down and 5 upcoming for the Phantoms.
And they're going to test that defense right up. And you look, Tim, they've got 7 men right up on the line of scrimmage. And that was Adibi again, straight ahead. The hole was blocked.
So Adibi again brings up 3rd down. The ball just shy of the 44-yard line. They need to get across the 46. So it's a 3rd down and a long 2 as the Phantoms led by DJ Parker at quarterback. This is Lewis. Elan Lewis is stopped short of a 1st down as he is stopped right at the 45-yard line by a good defensive play on the left side of their defensive line.
That was number 5, Pernell Sturdivant. The young man watched this hit right at the line of scrimmage. Right there, boom. He actually 2 Titans hit him.
They definitely had 2 on him, and now the Phantoms with a 4th down and a long yard are apparently going to kick the ball as dropping back in deep punt formation is Narvid, Greg Narvid in deep punt formation. For the Titans, as soon as I can pick up their return man, I'll let you know they've got a flag on the play. Now, obviously, if it's against the defense, it'll be a 1st down for the Phantoms, but it's not. It's going to be against the Phantoms. So for a moment there, the opportunity existed for the Phantoms to get a 1st down.
Tim, we will pick a player of the game for the Phantoms tonight, and that player receive a...
False start against the offense, 5-yard penalty.
I'll get back into it after the kick.
All right, we'll talk about that in just a moment. So Narvid will stand 5 yards further back. It's 4th down and about 7 now. Titans look to be coming, and they are. And they just got that ball away. Narvid went down, but through no contact. Ball fumbled and then regained by the Titans. So a couple of precarious moments there for both squads as Lake Taylor's, that was Keenan Harris making the grab as you saw the ball loose for a moment. The Phantoms quickly on top of the play. Of course, once he was down on the ground, he could not get up and run. So a 32-yard line point of start for the Lake Taylor Titans. Just a 28-yard punt with no return. Actually 1 yard because he fumbled the ball forward for a yard. But Narvid barely got that off.
Yeah.
They got a lot of rush on it.
Really did. They got a double whiteout down here to the near side.
And the ball will be handed off to Keith Jones, number 32, their main running back.
Well, that's the young man that scored 2 touchdowns against Hampton a couple years ago when Hampton played this Lake Taylor team.
And you'll see from the ground level.
If we get a chance, we'll show you the offense for the Titans and defense for the Phantoms.
They marked the ball at the 35-yard line, so a pickup of almost 3 yards. Second and a long 7 for the Titans. And again, they send double wides to the near side. That's Terrell Golden, their number 1 receiver, along with Clarence Clanton on the side. And again, the handoff this time goes to their most recent
Suzanne Burton, senior. Keith Jones, senior. Pernell Sturdivant, junior. Terrell Golden, senior. Adrian Daniel, senior. Mark Jones, senior. Wayne Colwell, senior. Jarvin Young, junior. Ricky Durham, junior. Alex Rayner, junior. Brian Johnson, junior.
All right, third down and about 6 after a gain of about 2 by Sturdivant. And a pitch goes to Keith Jones. He's got no place to go. He is snowed under for a loss by the defense on the right side. And here are those defensive.
Anthony Robinson, junior.
Garrett Powell, junior.
Stephen Friday, sophomore. Quincy McCright, sophomore.
Emmanuel Anderson, senior. Xavier Deavy, senior.
Travis Richmond, senior.
Brandon Seminario, senior.
Phillip Brown, senior. DJ Parker, senior. Janason Jenkins, senior.
And the Phantoms defense did the job as it's 4th down and 8 after a loss. Keith Jones got the pitch on that play. Both teams very conservative to start off with. Nothing fancy, going to their bread and butter.
Yep.
And they're just kind of feeling each other out right now. Terrell Golden is in deep punt formation. And again, on the punt, we have a flag down. So we'll wait and see who this one's against. As you look at the Phantom cheerleading squad here, good crowd on hand on the Phoebus side. Bob, you and I were talking about how disappointed we were.
Against the offense, 5-yard penalty, the police force down.
Very few people on that side over there.
I mean, when you count parents, there's no extras over there. There's almost as many band members as there are people in attendance. Very surprising. I thought Lake Taylor would bring some crowd. Phillip Brown is back deep at his 42-yard line. High snap to Golden, but he does get it away. It's a high kick, and it's away along the sideline, taken by Brown, and he steps out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So the Phantoms have great field position.
Tim, we will pick a player of the game from the Phantoms tonight. In fact, we're going to pick 2. The players receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World. They're located in the historic Hilton Village in Newport News. For all your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at Trophy World in 595-7354. Mention this announcement for special pricing, and I'll tell you about the shirt in just a second.
All right, as you watch the replay of the punt, a 30-yard punt and a 4-yard return by Phillip Brown. The everything for the Phantoms. He does all kinds of good stuff for them. And this is Elan Lewis as he is out close to midfield, a gain of about 5 yards. And again, the team staying strictly on the ground here in the early going.
The shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Give them a call at 594-0411 and talk to either David Chubb or Terry McNamara.
Elan Lewis, of course, the second leading rusher on the Peninsula District behind Alan Backus. 1,171 yards, an average of 117 yards per game for this young man. Just a great season for Lewis. This is Adibi, and Adibi gets the first down and more as he is down to the 39-yard line of Lake Taylor.
Tim, he ran through 2 potential tacklers.
He almost broke it.
He's just amazing. So strong right here. Boom.
What? See,
right
they
there,
got him by the ankle.
Yeah, that ain't going to stop him.
Yep. And then the finishing touches put on by 58, Skylar Barnes, but not until Adibi has a first down at the Lake Taylor 39-yard line. 7:03 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. Each team has had the ball once and been unable to move it. And now the Phantoms register the first down of the ball game. This is an option. The pitch to Lewis. Lewis has running room around the right side. He'll have another Phoebus first down close to the 27-yard line.
What a great job on that pitch. DJ Parker held it to the last minute, made the defense commit themselves to him, which opened up that outside. Good job and nice play calling. Watch this. He'll hold on right there. The defense says, okay, I'm going to get you. And DJ says, no, I ain't got the ball, baby.
Close enough for a measurement.
All right, Eagle Eye, can you see that far?
No, I really can't because the referee is in the way, but it is a first down. He got it by just about half the length of football.
Zooms is given an award for the senior player on each of the Hampton teams this year who's demonstrated academic excellence. These players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for the continuing support to WHCS and our student athletes.
First down at the 28-yard line of Lake Taylor. Scoreless game. And this is Lewis, and he will barely get back to the line of scrimmage as an excellent job that time by Lake Taylor. In on the stop was number 32. That would be Keith Jones, one of their two-way players. We mentioned he with over 3,000 career yards rushing, as you see the replay.
The Titans basically have, I think they only got 5 players that are going both ways.
No gain on the play. Second down and 10 for the Phantoms. This is again the option, DJ Parker, and Parker will not get the option pitch away as he is tackled by Lionel Green, a senior, and he will be stopped for a loss of a couple of yards back to the 30-yard line.
Well, that time, Tim, there was nobody open. That time they not only had the pitch man covered, but they also had the quarterback covered.
So the loss of a pair, it's 3rd and 12. Both teams' defense, which they're both known for, have been at the top of the board right now. DJ Parker looking to throw for the first time. He is decked after he threw it. It's into a crowd, and it's caught at the 5-yard line. Philip Brown.
Tim, he got his feet in. What a great job. And what a nice throw by Parker because he did get decked.
A 26-yard pass completion. He threw it into coverage. Parker got creamed as he let it go, but Philip Brown came up with it. Philip Brown makes the grab at just inside the 5-yard line. So let's call it a 25-yard pass completion, but it is 1st and goal for the Phantoms. The Phantoms not known for passing, 35 out of 77 by Parker for 579 yards on the season. But as any of you Phantom fans know, they make their hay with the ball on the ground, and that is Lewis carrying to about the 4, may have gotten half a yard. Watch the replay, and again, that tough Lake Taylor defense right now is really doing a good job of bottling up the running attack.
Well, that's a strong safety, number 32, Keith Jones coming up. Nobody's blocking him. They're picking up the linebackers and they're picking up the linemen, but they're not getting. Nobody's picking up the strong safety, Tim.
That's DJ Parker on the keeper, and he is down to about the 3, just inside the 3. So it brings up 3rd down and goal. So again, that Lake Taylor defense has stiffened, and every yard is being hard fought right now. So it's 3rd and goal. This might be 4-down territory.
And that's a touchdown.
That's a DB. The man in the past when the Phantoms needed a tough couple of yards, that's who they've gone to, and Xavier Adibi goes the final 3 yards for the touchdown.
4:33 to go in the first quarter. Nothing fancy except that one pass, but what a great pass for Parker, Tim. he was really decked when he threw that ball, but he hung in there, and that's what you want to see.
He waited till the last second. So Adibi goes the final 3 yards. Jason Mickle will be on to try the extra point. He's converted 44 out of 51.
Make it 45.
Make it 45. We're going to make that officially a 2-yard touchdown run by Xavier Adibi. Here is the replay from the ground level.
Coming right at you.
Right at you is right, and that is Adibi just battling through there. We saw last year he was a men among boys during the state championship game and the regional finals. He just, whenever they needed 2, 3, 4 yards, he got it.
He got it, and they did give it to him. He usually get more than 3 or 4 yards. Anyway, Hampton Chevrolet, one of our corporate sponsors, located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call at 838-5450. Like a rock, get the pickups there.
And that's no court jester you're looking at. That is a Go Phoebus fan. Great hair. I like that. I have to borrow that.
Oh,
a couple of
them there. Yeah.
So there's more than one kook out there. There's a couple of them.
Oh, now don't be calling them that. Tim said kook.
Fanatics. I'll tell you a little story when we get a chance about fanatics. My son, who's in Alaska now, is having Virginia Tech separation. And he's found out what fanatics are about.
Oh, I bet.
All right, the phantom kickoff is a relatively short one, taken at the 15-yard line. And tripped up as he gets to about the 27-yard line.
It looked like Manny Anderson, number 8, was the young man that tripped him up.
Adrian Daniel. 12-yard return on the kickoff by Daniel. So the Lake Taylor Titans will have the ball for the second time, unable to move it the first. They'll start from their 27-yard line. We have 4:27 left in the first quarter. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, Bob Killen, Mike Hauser, and the Channel 46 crew here at Darling Stadium. This on the 15th of November, 2002, the Eastern Regional Semifinals. This is Keith Jones. He's got some running room left side, spins away from a tackler and gets out close to the 35-yard line. That's a nice game. That's the first time they've really gotten substantial yardage on first down.
Yeah, it really is.
Picked up about 7 on the play. Keith Jones, who's just been outstanding recently for this team.
Well, they got to do something to get outside on the Phantoms. They got a little bit more speed, but they're not going to get anything going up the middle.
Jones with 1,069 yards, just a few yards less than Elan Lewis registered for the counterpart Phoebus Phantoms. 2nd and 3. Double wides to the near side. The pitch goes to Sturdivant. He is the recent comer, and he is stopped.
Got a flag, Tim. Looked like a bad block.
But a good defensive effort to stop Sturdivant and a holding call.
No, actually, I think it was a push in the back.
Push in the back?
Yeah, I think that's illegal use of hands or something. I think that was his call.
We'll let Tim Brame tell us.
Back on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Spot foul. Even though they gained nothing, they needed to move them back because they were only 2 yards away from getting the first down. So now they'll have to really work hard to get it because it's spot foul, moves the ball all the way back to the 23-yard line.
Well, you notice the difference between the first time they had the ball, they basically went straight ahead. This time they're trying to get outside and get the ball to either Sturdivant or Keith Jones going wide. Well, Phantoms that time did a good job.
You and I both read in the Virginian Pilot about the quickness of this team. Their coach says he thinks that they're the quickest team that Phoebus has seen all year and hope to use that speed as the weapon. Let's see how that works out. A little dump-off pass to Keith Jones, and Jones will pick up maybe a half a yard. So negligible yardage brings up 3rd down and long, 3rd down and about 14 for the Titans.
That's one of the plays as we watch it. Bill D had told me about that. They just do a little floater pass to Jones and try to get him out there on one-on-one situations because he has got some good speed and he is a good runner. But you can see right there the Phantoms were all over that. That's a play that they had expected. Coaching staff doing a great job over there with the Phantoms.
3rd down and 14 to go for Lake Taylor. Ball at their 23-yard line. In motion now for the first time. They've got a man in motion. That's Daniel. And wanting to throwing long. DJ Parker back, tips it away. and the ball well off the mark. In fact, Parker had a much better chance at receiving that ball than the offensive player did.
Actually, what he's doing, Tim, is it looks like he's throwing the ball up and hoping the receiver can run underneath it and get a better chance at it. But great job of Parker just knocking it out of bounds. Don't try to intercept it. Make him punt the ball. A lot of things can happen. You remember the last punt, there was the center almost put the ball over the punter's head.
Well, you know, talk about DJ Parker, what a great game. In fact, he was our player of the game in the last game that we had, Phoebus. Said, we've got a fake or at least a run on the 4th down. This is Golden.
And, Tim, he has done that all year. That was one of the things that Bill had told me, that he goes back to punt and will run the ball out of punt formation.
And they get the first down by about a yard. So a very tricky play. I wasn't sure that was a planned play because the Phoebus team had a good rush on him. Yeah. But he, as you said, that was in their playbook. So it works for the Titans as they register a first down at the 38-yard line.
And I'm sure Bill is very upset because he had a player out there that should have stopped him short of the first down, but
he just got it. He only got it by a yard. That's a tricky play if it was a planned play on 4th and almost 14.
Gutsy call.
Yeah. But I'm not so sure it was. We got flags down, and I'm not sure this play even got off, although they let them play without blowing the whistle. It was an illegal shift against the Titans.
Right now, the Titans are kind of hitting themselves in shooting themselves in the foot.
Score is now involving Eastern Region competition. Western Branch leading 10-0.
No, you talk about them all the time.
Well, I got to. Hey, tell you what, Andy said he's buying drinks for everybody tonight. He had a great time at Vegas and come back with a lot of money. And
all right.
Just send up the hot dogs and the drinks whenever you get ready, Andy.
Those kind of drinks. I thought we were talking drinks.
Oh, well, no, we're at the school game here.
I'm not. I'm talking about sarsaparillas and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, Cokes and hot dogs.
Yeah.
You know, Killen and Mike Hauser looking a little peaked over there. They're going to send some hot dogs up.
They're seriously into this game. They're compiling stats as we speak, even when they're not running the ball. 2nd down and a long 11. Little dump pass out in the flat here, intended for number 9. That's Mark Jones, and that was overthrown to him and incomplete. So far, Kazan Burke, who is the quarterback for Lake Taylor, has been very ineffective throwing the ball. I don't bring the donuts. I'm not the donut man. Are you the donut man?
No, I'm not the donut man. You're boxing one guy.
That's right. 3rd down and 11. That one stopped the clock with 1:28 remaining in the first quarter. Phoebus 7 and Lake Taylor nothing. Single elimination. This is the Eastern Regional Division 5 playoffs. The winner of this game will have the opportunity to play either Booker T. Washington or Kickintan. For the regional championship, slant pass over the middle to Golden is complete at about the 46-yard line, but that'll be short of the first down by about 2, almost 3 yards.
And there's another time you might think that's just a nice slant pass as you watch on replay. But this is not a bad place to run from punt formation, but I think the Phantoms are going to be ready for it this time. One of our younger
And I'm still not convinced, Bob, that was a planned run.
Well, I don't think it was, not in that area of the field. But, that is one of the things that they have done this year more than once.
Golden this time will kick it away. It's an end-over-end kick, kicking it away from Brown, and it takes a Phoebus roll back to the 34-yard line. Looked like one of your 9-iron shots there as it hit about the 31 and spun backwards towards Lake Taylor by about 3 more yards.
So let's talk a little bit about our crew. We got Andre Mattingly on the instant replay, Nathaniel Braxton, Ron Baton, Susan Bowers on the camera, and I think Don Rouse, who is our engineer, is also on the boom camera down there.
Yes.
I got Beth Barker, Ricky Richardson are the grips, Juan Brown, John Moore, Rachel Barnes, John Terrell, Andy Foley doing the graphics, Mike Nowinski doing the audio, Scotty Bowers doing everything else, and then we got Lakeisha Porter down there helping out.
A cast of thousands as Elan Lewis gets the call and runs for a couple of yards. Do we have an opportunity to get a shot of the hardworking crew?
Occasionally we'll get that.
In the truck? maybe we can get a shot of that, because these guys really, really work hard. I mean, when it's cold, they're air conditioned. I mean, they're heated in there, and when it's hot, they're air conditioned. They can't get it right. They keep throwing the air conditioning switch on when it's not supposed to be on.
Well, that's the engineer's fault, I think.
Okay. We may have had the last play of the quarter. In fact, the clock has run out on our first quarter. And here we go. There they wave to us, guys.
Turn around, guys.
Turn around and wave. All right, there they are. The hard-working crew bringing you this contest. Back to work, guys.
And the guy in the middle up in front, he's the man that runs the show.
Well, it's kind of like Captain Kirk, the Enterprise. He's got that
Beam me up,
Scotty. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
All right, we've played one quarter, and after 12 minutes of Eastern Regional semifinal action, it's Phoebus 7 and Lake Taylor nothing. Bob, you're going to talk about some things.
I was telling you, you'll notice one of the things here I have that Golden will run from punt formation.
Yeah, you had it in writing before it even occurred.
Well, it's Crystal Bell.
And Alonzo Cherry.
Yeah, your old buddy.
Him old buddy Alonzo and Crystal. Look like Crystal's a little on the chilly side down there tonight. We haven't talked about the weather.
Well, I don't know what that thing she's got. I think it needs a haircut.
There is no breeze as a factor tonight. I'm thankful for that. And there's no rain now. It is supposed to rain later tonight, but not supposed to be until around midnight. So hopefully, unless we have 19 overtimes, we will be long gone by the time any rain might get here. So thank goodness for that. Is that the conditions are ideal for football. The field is a little soft because of all the rain we've had. There's just nothing you can do about it. It drains very well, but it's just kind of muddy. Not real bad, but
it's soft.
It's pretty soft. All right. Second down at about 8. The pitch goes to Lewis, and Lewis is very close to the first down, depending on the spot.
First down. He got it.
Well, it depends on the spot. But
he got it. We got him marked over to 45. Eagle eye, I can see that.
I know. I just wanted to build some drama.
You a little suspense?
Yeah, I didn't want it to be too obvious.
Well, this offensive line for the Phantoms, Tim, they're very good at what they do. And this is a quote from the coach. They're real patient. They're very patient. They look at the different schemes out there, and they do a good job of picking up and blocking the whatever defense they run up against.
First down at the 45-yard line. This one's up the middle, and Elan Lewis gets maybe a yard, and that's about all, as he is stormed under by number 5, Pernell Sturdivant, and number 99, that's Julius Herring, as you'll see the two of them as they throw him backwards after a 1-yard gain. This young man Sturdivant, number 5 for them, two-way player. He's really come on strong for them offensively.
And he's just a sophomore.
Yeah, he had 7 touchdowns. Yeah, 7 touchdowns in the last 3 games for Lake Taylor. Now, I don't know who the caliber of opponents were for Lake Taylor in those games, but that's still pretty impressive either way, considering Keith Jones is the main man. This is Phillip Brown getting the call as he struggles to get across midfield and gets into Lake Taylor territory at the 49-yard line. So it's a nice gain of about 5 yards.
Now watch this. It's just a counter play, and Brown does a good job of fighting after he makes being made contact with the defensive man. Picked up some great yardage, but third and long.
Well, now 3rd and 4.
Well, that's long for the Phantoms. They're usually third. Well, they usually don't get the third down.
That's true. Primarily the running attack, of course. This is the pitch to Lewis, and Lewis will not get back to the line of scrimmage as they read that play perfectly. And quite frankly, their defense is very quick to the ball. I will have to agree with their coach Sawyer's assessment of that. Here's the pitch.
Tim, if you'll notice that time when he came down with the pitch, the man that was guarding the wide receiver left the wide receiver. Good job now to fake that turn, and when that guy starts going, you got a man wide open out there. The coaching staff might pick that up.
So,
but they got like 8 men up on that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and they know, just like the Phantoms do, you're going to watch a lot of running, so they're prepared for it. Narvid gets the kick away. It's a line drive, end over end, fielded at the 14-yard line. And still on his feet, still going to the 30, and finally pushed out of bounds on an excellent effort by number 3, Adrian Daniel. He was stopped well short of the 30-yard line and got all the way out to the 33.
That's not going to make the coaches very happy, Tim. That wasn't very good tackling.
Well, in their defense, this is not well, I don't want to name anyone disparaging that. This is not sort of mention one of the less talented teams in the district, but this is a primary team. 38-yard punt and a 19-yard return.
Got us on camera.
Hi,
here.
Mom. I got to get Mom cable. That's all
You don't have Mom cable?
I finally got her a house.
Oh.
Living in that. Never mind. And this is Sturdivant, and he gets very little yardage, maybe a yard on the play.
And he was Jenkins. Number 21 made a nice play that time.
Jennison Jenkins have had a great season. Young man has really played well, as so many of these Phantoms have. 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard gain. 9:07 left on the clock. It's moving here in the second quarter, and it's Phoebus 7 and Lake Taylor nothing. The Titans trying to answer. The big pass play of 25 yards to Philip Brown set up the touchdown for the Phantoms. Otherwise, they've had a tough time moving the ball. Burke wants to throws out on the flat, and it's complete to Golden, their number 1 receiver. He picks up just a couple of yards as the defense, along with the others, Jenkins over there, number 21. Here's on the replay, you're going to watch Terrell Golden as you see him make the nice catch. He's a good, tall receiver at 6'3". He's a senior.
Oh, that was a nice block coming from the other, I don't know if it was a tight end or another wideout over there. Blocked whoever was covering Golden that time.
Golden caught almost half of the completed passes Burke threw this year. Now we've got a timeout being called, and I believe this will be charged to Lake Taylor, and it will. That'll be their first timeout.
Well, Tim, they got to, get together and say, hey, we got to do something here. We got 3rd and real long. While we got this thing, do want to talk a little bit about Zooms, Tim. We'll get that good Beantown coffee, and the fried chicken and pizza and potato wedges and your box and 1 Krispy Kreme donuts, and of course Coca-Cola and that good Citgo gas to fill up your car with. And I know that when you go home tonight, you're going to stop. Were you picking up pizza or chicken tonight?
Yeah. Getting both. This is one of those pizza chicken nights.
There you go. My kind of guy.
Zooms, a great supporter of high school sports here on Channel 46. We really appreciate it. When you were reading off the name of our crew, and it's continued to grow over the years, and specifically this year, it takes a lot of time, effort, and money to make this happen because none of us are doing it. Here's the crew. One more time, show these guys. Look at Andy's hand still shaking from when he was playing.
Well, he was throwing the dice.
I know.
You throw it so many times, your hand gets shaky.
3rd down and about 7. So you're saying Andy's shaky, okay?
Yeah, just sometimes.
Burke wants to pass. He's got Golden open over the middle, and it's a running play now as Burke will pick it up and run with it, but he will not get enough for the first down as he gets just across the 40-yard line. Needed to get to about the 43. So it'll bring up another kicking down for the Titans. And there's the group. There's the guys.
Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give him a call, 838-5450.
Burke had some time but couldn't find an open receiver, so had to run with the ball and came up a couple of yards shy.
Good job that time with the defensive secondary, making sure that he had nobody open.
So Terrell Golden, who is prone to run with the ball, back in deep punt formation, just got it away. Contact made with the kicker. That is going to be running into the kicker as Philip Brown fields the punt at the 25-yard line, but that will be a penalty against the Lake Taylor Titans.
No, against the Phoebus Phantoms.
Excuse me, against the Phoebus Phantoms. And we're told that right now we've got Kecoughtan with a 7-0 lead over Booker T. Thank you.
Roughing the kicker, 15 yards, 1st down.
So Tim Brame, the referee, tells us it is a roughing the kicker penalty. He definitely made contact with him. He was in that very dangerous position with his foot high in the air.
What you got to do is you're going to block a kick. You got to go where the ball is going to come off of the foot and don't go for the player.
Watch if we can see. You're going to see, and right there you can see it right at the very end. Great job, guys, as he made contact, and you can't do that. And the kicker is in a very vulnerable position when he's in that. So here's a big break for Lake Taylor as they had given the ball up but now have it back with a fresh set of downs in Phoebus territory.
And Tim, that's almost like a turnover.
Oh, yeah. And they stick on the ground as they have most of the time, although we've seen Burke try to throw the ball a little bit. This time Keith Jones gets the call, and he picks up about 3 yards. Well, let's see, they marked him actually 2 yards, as the line of scrimmage was the 44, and he gets to the 42. So it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Titans as we approach the halfway mark here in the second quarter. 7-0 is our score. Phoebus on top, trying to repeat. And the handoff, and Keith Jones almost got tackled as he got the handoff. Actually, that was Parnell Sturdivant, excuse me, not Jones.
And that was Manny Anderson that almost had him in the backfield.
I mean, he was there with the handoff, was Manny. Watch the replay from the ground level. You're going to see Manny Anderson being dragged about a yard, and that's all. So it's 3rd down and a long 5, almost 6.
And that was Stephen Friday hanging on, number 82. Friday, what's he play? He plays one of the defensive ends, him and McWright.
Golden lines up wide to the right, split backfield for the Titans. Burke, the quarterback, short drop, wants to throw. He's got Golden, completes the pass. No, it's incomplete. Had it for a moment. It would have been enough for a 1st down, but Golden could not handle the ball. Golden on the season, 19 grabs, 451 yards, 5 touchdowns, an average 23, almost 24 yards per catch.
Well, he may have been looking at that defense. The second time out for the Lake Taylor. They may go for it. Watch this. Look at the man.
Now watch this. Now let's see. Did he really have the ball or not?
No, it was coming down.
Now see the ball. There's the ball on the ground behind him.
He never did have control of it.
It was very close, and that ball was thrown right on the money. Burke did a good job. He took a short 2-step drop and then threw that slant pass, and that's what's going to be effective, because I don't think, generally speaking, you can throw long against the Phantoms. They've got some good deep cover men, and they do a good job on that. But if you can get a quick hitter on a slant or something like that, that can be effective. Rushing so far in the first half, Phoebus has 16 carries for 54 yards. Lake Taylor has carried the ball 10 times for 32 yards. We appreciate that, Mr. Bob Killen. Phoebus, of course, with just 1 pass attempt, and that was complete for 25 yards to Brown.
Well, I knew that the Lake Taylor Titans would have to throw the ball more than they had in the last 2 games they played this year. And they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Or at least appear to do. This is Burke. Feels the pressure, and he will not get the 1st down. He will be sacked, and that ball will go over to the Phantoms.
Hey, that's young man Quincy McWright, Tim. Young man is really coming along.
A late flag. This is going to be unsportsmanlike. You can't say anything. I'm only going to assume. Now, this will be a dead ball foul, and it should be post-possession since the play had ended and it was Phoebus ball. But let's see how they record this. I'm going to assume that it'll still be Phoebus ball, but it'll be 15 yards backwards. Would that be the way you would interpret it?
That's because it is a dead ball foul. The play was already over.
Right.
And the young man celebrated. You can't celebrate. Good shot of Miss Bowers on the camera. She got her turtleneck on. She's toasty.
Let's listen to Tim Brame.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike against Phoebus, 15 yards.
Unsportsmanlike conduct is the assessment.
But they get the ball, which is more important than anything. But those are the type of things you just can't do.
Yeah, as the coach is saying, and I know the coach is very upset with the young man that did that, because now you're starting 15 yards further down and you're having trouble running the ball with this defense. The Lake Taylor come out and really prepared with, right now, Tim, they've got 9 men up on the line of scrimmage.
Handoff goes to Xavier Adibi. The ball came loose. And let's see, that might be Lake Taylor ball. It is. So a very uncharacteristic play on the part of the Phantoms. Xavier Adibi. Ball came loose. Let's see if he had it. And now that ball, there you see it, loose on the ground and pounced upon by the Lake Taylor Titans. So they've got a huge break. So the penalty is more important than it ever was, because they have great field position at the Phantom 28-yard line.
You can't make mistakes like this once you get to postseason play.
Lake Taylor trying to capitalize now on the first turnover of the ball game. Burke, short drop, wants to throw. He's got Golden on the pattern, and Golden's got it for a touchdown. You can see that one coming.
He just throws it up and let Golden run under it. And I tell you, you turn the ball over, you give it to him in good field position, and your defense is down a little bit. You come out, you go for the juggler and score. It's exactly what the Titans did.
So one play after the fumble on the first play after they had held comes back to really bite the Phantoms. The extra point try. It's up, it's long enough, and it is good.
We got a tie game.
So a very costly turnover. Watch the replay here. You're going to see Burke, just a two-step drop, and he just floated it up there and said, Golden, just like you said, Bob. He said, I'm going to toss it up there and want to hopefully you can get it. He's 6'3", and he probably has 5 or 6 inches in height on the defender in that case.
Yeah, and not only that, he's got good speed.
Well, and the ball was thrown perfectly. Burke just feathered that ball up there exactly where it needed to be for Golden to make the catch. So the 28-yard overtime. Who said that? Was that Andy? That was Andy. Well, let's get through the first half before we worry about overtime.
Who said that?
That's our roulette man, Mr. Golden. Just 14 seconds is all it took. So with 5:31 left here in the first half, Lake Taylor has tied this ball game up. Again, a very low, short kick taken at the 24-yard line. This is Manny Anderson, and Anderson is out all the way close to the 45-yard line, so Phantoms will have great field position.
Nice job with Manny Anderson. He can run the ball.
Manny has been a two-way player in the past and shows great speed and running ability. He took it at the 24-yard line, so that's a 20-yard return for Manny. So the Phantoms have 3 timeouts and 5 minutes and 23 seconds in which to work here in the first half. No time to panic, needless to say. Xavier Adibi in the backfield along with Lewis. Lewis gets the call and picks up yardage to about the 48-yard line. So he picks up about 4 yards on the play.
Tim, they're opening up holes on the line of scrimmage, but what's happening is the defensive backs, the safety, especially the strong safety, and the corners are up so close, it's like they're playing in the linebacker position and nobody is blocking them. Just outmanned.
Second down and 6. Adibi gets the call, and they have Adibi stacked up for no gain. So the Titans, led by Golden was in on that stop along with Antoine Smith. Well, they have really bottled up Mr. Adibi.
Well, I tell you, nothing will give you more confidence than putting a score on the board against a team that's the defending state champions.
Big Mo, the momentum. So it'll be on the shoulders of the Phantoms now to try and get this first down and keep this drive alive as we are down to 4:13 to go in the half. Rolling out DJ Parker, and he is in no man's land. He is smothered for a loss all the way back to the 36-yard line.
Well, that's Golden and Holiday. They combined on that.
This was doomed from the get-go. This play was never going to be a success, as they read that thing perfectly. In fact, it looked like the ball might have come loose. There was a beanbag thrown, but apparently he recovered it himself. But now Narvid, again, the wind not a factor tonight, but we've already seen twice that the Titans have been able to get close to Narvid on the punt. So that will mean, as it does so often, it means your blocker's got to hold that block a little longer, which means a better opportunity for a return. Narvid's kick is away. It is fielded at the 33-yard line. And that's all they'll get out of that as, again, Adrian Daniel, number 3, made the grab and got nothing more.
Well, number 3 and 4 for the Phantoms, Bellamy and Boone were there.
33-yard punt for the Phantoms. So with 3:15 and one timeout in their possession, the Lake Taylor Titans now will have an opportunity to see what they can do before halftime. They've marked the ball right at the Lake Taylor 35-yard line. Our score is 7-all here in the Eastern Regional Semifinals. This is Group AAA Division 5. Phoebus and Lake Taylor on the 15th of November, 2002. This is Keith Jones, the 3,000-yard career man who's showing some running life here all of a sudden.
Well, what will open up your running game is to be a little bit successful on your passing game.
It's a terrible cliche, but most cliches are that because they're accurate.
Well, and he does a good job of spinning after he gets hit. Hard to hold and bring down. You got to hit him solid and hang and drive him backwards.
He picked up 7 on the play. It's 2nd down and 3 as the clock moves with 2:40 remaining in the half.
Well, they're playing with a whole lot more confidence right now, the Titans are.
Turnover is the big play in this game so far. Burke, short drop, wants to pass, has some time, gets good protection, now throws long. He's throwing into a crowd, and it is incomplete, almost picked off. 3 Phantoms around the intended receiver.
Brown and number 2 and Jenkins, and we got a
penalty
flag.
Flag back in the secondary. The Phantom coaches are pointing against the Lake Taylor team as in take the penalty. So my assumption would be they've seen an indication that it's against Lake Taylor.
2nd and 2, let's move them back.
6. That's with 7:50.
Ineligible downfield.
All right, so that will be a penalty I would assume that they will take advantage of. So you can listen in and hear as referee Brame has done the referee reversal.
Yeah, he's got
the mic open when he thinks it's closed. So we'll have to monitor his mic because now every time he steps, it sounds like a thundering herd out there. That seems to happen more often than not. All right, so the penalty is assessed. It is 2nd down and about 8. Burke having some success throwing, throws and completes the pass. A short gain to Daniel on the far sideline. And again, if we can get his mic turned off, because it sounds like a thundering herd of elephants.
Well, the microphone is beating against his chest as he runs, and we don't need to hear his heart. I'm sure he's got a big heart, but we don't need to hear it.
3rd down and a long 4, almost 5, as the ball is right at the 40-yard line. They need to cross the 45, and now we're going to get a timeout called. I believe this was going to be called by the Phantom. No, it's going to be called by Lake Taylor. So they'll
their last one.
Yeah, they'll burn their last timeout with 2:13 remaining in the first half. Phoebus scored first. If you joined us late, they scored after a 25-yard pass completion to Philip Brown. And then after a couple of plays, the final 2 yards picked up by Xavier Adibi. And the extra point was good. That came at 4:33 in the first quarter. And then after a Phoebus turnover, the Lake Taylor Titans scored on a 28-yard pass play from quarterback Kazan Burke to Terrell Golden. And their extra point was good, so we're tied up at 7-all as we're a couple of minutes away from halftime. Just to spell this out for you, if Phoebus does win, they will host the regional finals next Friday night here at Darling Stadium, 7:30. If they lose and Kickintan wins, then Kickintan will host here next Friday night against these same Lake Taylor Titans. But if both teams lose, obviously the season will end for the Peninsula. But a whole second half to go as Burke is sacked by Adibi. Xavier Adibi just blitzed right up the middle, and Burke never had a chance.
Well, they had a screen. They had big number 79 and 75 leading Jones out to the side. They were going to flip the ball to him, but Adibi says, I'm not going to even let you look over that way.
Timeout has been taken by the Phantoms because now they want, with 2:01 to go, they want some time on that clock so they can get an opportunity. Watch the replay here. You're going to see Adibi just came right through untouched as he was right on top of Burke. Burke never had a chance. So they just outmanned him on the offensive line there. Adibi has been playing with an injury, and he would not be one to want to make any excuses, and certainly we won't for him, but he is playing injured. He did not play last week in the season finale against Gloucester, and so he's not up to 100%, but when he is 100%, you got a handful. You got a handful when he's 80%.
Yeah, I was going to say, he could be 50% and be better than a lot of the players that they're going to run into this year.
Golden will be in deep punt formation. It is 4th down and 12, and Philip Brown will be standing back at his 35-yard line set to receive this punt. Again, no wind factor tonight. Looks like the Phantoms will bring a crowd and try and put some pressure on Golden. And a high snap. It's over his head all the way back to the 5-yard line. It's just going to be a recovery by Golden, and that's where it'll be 1st and goal for the Phantoms.
I told you earlier that was one of the things that was shaky on their punt once before, but that ball was, Tim, I'm telling you, that ball was 4 or 5 feet over the head of Golden.
Never had a chance.
He's 6'3", but he better be 7'3".
He would have needed a 30-foot ladder. Never had a chance. Watch this replay. You're going to see the snap, and it's just going to go sailing way over his head. He just never had a prayer. And a 30-yard loss on the play, and of course on downs it goes over to the Phantoms 1st and goal. And now we've got an official stoppage for a moment, but the Phantoms with a $1:51 on the clock and 2 timeouts have plenty of time here and a great opportunity. I want to say golden opportunity, but that would have been too much of a punt. This is a DB, it's touchdown.
You get down there, Tim, it doesn't make a difference where those safeties and cornerbacks are, because all DB needs is just a little crease, and he's going to pick up 2 or 3 yards.
So a turnover in the sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even
Absolutely.
though they recovered it, it was a turnover. So it wasn't a fumble, but it's the same thing.
Well, it is a fumble because he never really got a hold of the ball, but.
So Jason Mickle will be on to try the extra point. His kick is long enough, and it is good. So the Phantoms regained the lead after a disastrous punt attack here, punt play rather. This is a DB just barreling over, and again on short yardage, it's just almost impossible to stop this Phantom team. They execute their blocks so well. They aren't necessarily going to get 15 or 20 yards on that play, but they'll get 3 to 5 yards almost every time.
Oh, they really will, with Anthony Robinson at center and Xavier Little and Quest King at the 2 guards, Justin Chetney and Jason Bowles at the 2 tackles, and then your 2 tight ends. You got Matt Wright and Darnell Allen, and they all are good blockers or they wouldn't be there.
So mistakes, as so often are the difference in a game of this caliber, have played big roles. The fumble by the Phantoms and the immediate touchdown to Golden, and now the horrendous snap from center on 4th down and long, and the recovery at the 4-yard line, and then a DB 1 play in the end zone. So the Phantoms have made Lake Taylor pay, and a short kick is fielded at the 35-yard line, and that's where the Lake Taylor team will have a pretty good field position. I know you want to kick a squib, but that's one of those cases where it just hit the guy and he fell on it.
A squib is usually, it's not going to go to a one individual, but that one did, and that's one of the bounces that you're going to get.
Just a 25-yard kick. So the Lake Taylor team, with no timeouts remaining, may choose to be conservative here. They're very much in this game.
I don't look for them to be conservative. I really don't. I don't think that's in the nature of Coach Hank Sawyer.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think they're going to put the ball up.
You've got a couple of wideouts. The swing pass near side, Keith Jones. The DB is blocked nicely on the play, and Jones will get to the 40. So he'll pick up about 5 yards.
That's the play they tried to run when a DB made the stop on the quarterback.
And that's the kind of play that is between conservative and daring. It allows you, and you know where I'm headed with this. Keith Jones is allowed to get into the open field with the ball, and get some blockers in front of him. So as you watch the replay here, he breaks a tackler too, and he goes all the way. He's got the kind of speed. Burke, short drop, has plenty of time, throws. His receiver had fallen to the ground, and even when he got up, it was a one-hopper, and the ball was tipped.
Yeah, I think it was tipped. I'm not sure who got their hand on it, but he brought who was it? It was Jones. They brought him back in the backfield. He was really on a wing position. They brought him back in to block for him. So, I don't know now at this point with 103 whether you really, at this point I look for him maybe to be a little more conservative.
Well, sure, because you've got 3rd down and 5 here, and if you don't get it, give Phoebus another chance.
Well, they can call timeout.
Right, they got 2 timeouts to remain, exactly. And they can still call timeout regardless. Burke on the pitch to Jones, and Jones will not get the first down. In fact, the ball comes loose, and they say no,
he was down.
He was down. The ball went out after he went down.
I think the Phantoms might call timeout.
Well, they are. The coaches on the near sideline are signaling for a stoppage of play, so they'll use their second timeout, gives them 1 remaining, and they'll have 47 seconds to work with here. So a rapid-moving first quarter has been slowed by the strategic timeouts here, and it's good to watch this because this has been very effective. It's allowed the Phantoms to get a touchdown and on the bad snap. And then now they've got Lake Taylor in a 4th and 2. And you know what? If you're Lake Taylor, you think about going for it here? Because you just had a horrible snap. So what's the mental set of your long snapper? And do they have a problem there? Is this a history they've had?
Well, we've seen it twice tonight. One that was real high, and then one that went well over the head of Golden. But Tim, I look for him to punt the ball. Phantoms have only got 1 timeout left. Make them go. If they're going to have to score, they're going to have to go the length of the field. You try something here, and you turn the ball over, and clock's going to stop because of possession change, and Phantoms now have a chance.
Yep. Young man pouring some cold beverage. Hopefully that's all it is. They are going to go for it, and they do get the first down as Sturdivant gets the first down to the 47-yard line.
So gutsy call.
Very gutsy call. But like you said, you pegged it exactly. You said Sawyer wasn't going to be conservative, and boy, you were right. So a momentary stoppage of the clock. As you watch the replay, they gave it to Sturdivant, who's been a late comer for this team. 7 touchdowns in their last 3 games. And so he gets the first down at the 47-yard line. Now the Phantoms on defense slow to get out of their huddle. They look a little disorganized as the clock is once again moving as we're under 30 seconds. This is Keith Jones, and Jones staying on the ground.
Well, now this is conservative.
Yeah, well, at this point, you didn't want to give the ball back. And this is what Coach Sawyer was saying. I don't want to punt it to you because last time I punted it, we lost the ball. And who knows, we've seen Phillip Brown. He can return the ball. They're going without a huddle, 2nd down and about 6. We're down to 7 seconds. This could be the final play of the half. And Burke looked like he was confused as to whether he was supposed to hand it off or not.
Well, and in all fairness, let's also look at the point that Lake Taylor's going to get the ball to start the second half.
And we have come to halftime. It's been a very entertaining first half. A couple of mistakes have been the difference. Our score at halftime is Phoebus 14, Lake Taylor 7. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the 3rd quarter of action after a brief timeout. Halftime here at Darling Stadium between Lake Taylor and the Phoebus Phantoms. Hi, everybody. Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz back at Darling Stadium. Our halftime statistics for you. Very close statistics, as you might imagine. Phoebus with 5 first downs. They had 20 carries for 50 yards in the first half. They only passed the ball once. They completed it for 25 yards. That was the pass that set up the first touchdown by Adibi. They returned the ball 3 times for 44 yards, and they averaged 33 yards per punt on their 3 attempts. They fumbled the ball once, and that led to the Lake Taylor touchdown. And they were penalized 3 times for 35 yards, and they had the ball 12 minutes and 25 seconds. Time of possession was almost identical, as just on the other side of that, Lake Taylor had it for 11:35. Lake Taylor had 4 first downs. They had 18 carries for 15 yards, but if you take away that 30-yard high snap, which is deducted from their rushing yardage, you can see where the rushing yardage is almost identical for both teams. 5 of 9 for 46 yards passing, so Lake Taylor much more success throwing the ball, although Phoebus you can only complete as many as you throw, right?
That's right.
2 punts for an average of 25 yards per punt, so the punting average very poor for Lake Taylor. They did fumble the ball once. They did not lose it, although the high snap from center was recovered by them. In essence, it was a turnover. 3 penalties for 21 yards, and again, time of possession 11:35. Bob, you're the coaches. What do you do at halftime to try and adjust against the other team?
Well, first of all, what the Phantoms are going to have to do, they're going to have to do something to spread out that defense. When you have 8 and 9 men on that line of scrimmage, and your offensive line is opening them up holes, and you're blocking the linebackers, and who's making your tackles are your strong and free safety and your cornerbacks, then you're going to have to do something to spread them out. Maybe they'll come out with only 1 tight end, run a flanker and a split end, spread them out a little bit. Maybe that's what they'll do. On the other side of the ball, the Lake Taylor, they're going to have to come out and start getting some consistency and not shoot themselves in the foot. They're going to have to be real patient and know that they're not going to always get a quick score. They got the score because of a bad penalty. When I say bad, it was in a situation, a turnover, and then they scored right off of that. So both teams turn over the ball. Both teams scored off of that turnover. The Phantoms scored on a regular basis. But this game is far from over. I'm real impressed with the way the defense is playing for the Lake Taylor Titans.
Well, I'm impressed from 2 points of view, and both the offense and the defense for both teams have been outstanding. But Lake Taylor's offense, in my opinion, has been very strong, even though their statistics don't bear it out. They've got Keith Jones, who's their premier running back, and then the Sturdivant young man has also done a nice job spelling him and trying to take some of the pressure off of Jones. So. And Burke has thrown the ball pretty well, considering all things.
And that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Burke, and this is what Coach D told me. What he does is lay the ball up and let the receivers run under it, and that's exactly what happened on that touchdown. But he'll do that on a swing pass. The one that they tried to attempt, and the DB got the sack, was they had 2 offensive linemen out in front of number 32, Jones, ready for a pass to him with 2 blockers, almost like a floating screen, if you would. But this is something that the Phantoms are going to make some changes and some modifications as well, the Titans. So let's see what both teams do.
Well, someone's win streak is going to come to a screeching halt. The Phantoms have won 22 in a row going back to last season. And the Titans have won their last 4 games. Last time they lost was to the Booker T. Washington team that's taking on Kecoughtan tonight. And we understand at halftime that's a very close ball game. Kecoughtan just leading by a touchdown.
Stallion Brothers in Heating and Cooling is bringing the second half to you. Give them a call at 825-1461 or 850-5564. And also brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager.
The Phantoms will kick off. I got Kecoughtan on my brain there for a moment. The Phantoms will kick off for the second half. And again, we would remind you that the wind is not a factor tonight. It's virtually a calm wind, so that's not going to be part of the kicking game or the passing game.
Just cool enough.
Kickoff taken at the 11-yard line. This is Daniel, and Daniel is across the 25 out to about the 27-yard line, where the Lake Taylor Titans will start for the second half.
That's not a bad run back.
17-yard return by Daniel on the play. So the 27-yard line is their starting point. That's been about where they've had the ball each time. I would say that's a pretty good average for where they've started.
Let's see what kind of adjustments both teams made.
And again, we remind you, single elimination. You lose tonight, your season is over with. So there is a certain amount of urgency involved here in the second half. This is Keith Jones, and Jones struggles across the 30. So he picks up about 3 yards on the play.
Manny Anderson, one of the tacklers involved in that, along with Terrence Bellamy.
Keith Jones carried 143 times on the season for 1,069 yards, averaging 107 yards per game, averaged 7.5 yards every time he carried the ball, and he also had a dozen touchdowns to his credit. 2nd down and 7 for the Lake Taylor Titans. They have a lone receiver to the near side. And a quick hitter to Sturdivant, and Sturdivant struggles out to the 34-yard line, so he'll come up about 3 yards short of the first down. And this is exactly what we saw from both of these teams in the early going of the ballgame.
Yeah, it really is. Number 82 that time, Friday, along with Anderson, in to make that stop.
So 3rd down and about 3 for the Titans. Crucial possession here to start the 3rd quarter. Both of these teams have seen the momentum in their favor. Phoebus started off that way, and then Phantoms got it with that long pass to the touchdown, but then the Lake Taylor team got it back. This is going to be very close. I think he's going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, and I thought I saw some movement in the backfield that time, but no flag, so maybe I saw the movement after the ball was snapped, but big number 75 for the Titans comes up limping. That's Bryant Johnson, 6'2", 320, just a junior. He hasn't missed many meals.
So it's 4th down, and they do not have the punting unit on. 4th and a yard. So a statement about to be made here, or is it? The Phantoms, late coming out of their defensive huddle, they have to be aware of a quick snap. They only need a yard, and they're a running game. Let's see how this works out. And they've got the 1st down. So a good surge by the left side of the offensive line by Lake Taylor. And that's a gutsy call early here in the 3rd quarter.
But it's also showing a lot of confidence in that offensive line.
Yeah. And they didn't just get it. They got it clearly. This was Keith Jones, and he got it by about a yard and a half as he got out close to the 39-yard line. So something the Phantoms have not had done to them very often is they have been pushed off of the line of scrimmage.
Well, Tim, you know, your punting game is a little suspect. That's quarterback keeper. First time we've seen that tonight.
Yeah, the fake to Jones and the double fake as he also faked it out to Sturdivant. And Burke, the quarterback, kept it, and he picked up about 6 to the 45-yard line. So it brings up 2nd and 4.
I'm impressed with what Hank Sawyer is doing, Tim, is he's showing a lot of confidence in that offensive line to pick up that short yardage on that 4th and 2.
Double wideouts to the near side. That's Daniel and Golden. Split backfield. And the handoff. No, the quarterback keeper again as Burke gets the 1st down, and he very elusively got the 1st down into Phoebus territory at the 49-yard line.
Okay, one of the wrinkles that they've put in. Second half, we're going to fake the ball to our running backs, and we're going to let the quarterback keep it because nobody's been picking him up.
Very good adjustment on their part. Let's see how the Phantom defense will respond to that. They mark it at the Phantom 49-yard line. 1st down for Lake Taylor. Again, double wides to the near side. This is Keith Jones, and the big running back gets about 8 yards. So they're starting to make that offense work here.
And they're putting the pressure on the Phoebus defense right now, Tim, as they've got them back on their heels. One time two times the quarterback keeps it, fakes it to Jones. This time he gives it to Jones. I'd like to have been in the locker room at halftime. I'm sure Mr. Sawyer was not real kind in his words. He was very upset. I saw him out on the field at halftime, really giving them, before halftime, giving the team the Dickens. Tight formation. Whoa!
Flags down. No, we got to change the possession. The Phantoms say they've got it, but
they do.
They do.
And I think Manny Anderson came up with it. No, yeah. No, it's not Manny. That was.
Well, let's wait and see who gets up off the ground with the ball. He's still down there.
Never did get the handoff. If you watch, the ball comes popping out.
And the player who recovered the ball has been shaken up as well. But the ball does go over at the 36-yard line. I can't see who it is who's laying on the ground, but we'll let you know as soon as possible. And hopefully he just had the wind knocked out of him when everybody piled on him when the loose ball was on the floor. But a huge, potentially huge turnover here. You're Lake Taylor. You've taken the opening kickoff and controlled the ball for better than 4 minutes. And you're moving the ball, and then all of a sudden.
Right, and you have not had any negative yards. In fact, I think the worst, that is Manny Anderson.
Yeah, and I'm happy to say that he's going to be all right, apparently.
He's the young man that came up with that fumble recovery.
So a young man who we've seen excel on the football field this year comes up with a loose football, and the Phantoms have it at their 36-yard line. So let's see how this affects the Lake Taylor Titans and this game in whole. This is Elan Lewis, who's been held relatively quiet here. He's been unable to get loose, and this young man is a threat to go all the way anytime he touches the ball.
And Tim, again, 8 men on the line of scrimmage that time. We got one on Brown over here.
No huddle as they go.
They got 10 people up on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, yeah, they're just saying, go ahead and pass if you can. This is Lewis again as he is tripped up. He had gained 3, almost 4 on the first carry.
And here comes the DB.
And now DB holding his right leg is down. And boy, would that be a huge loss. The DB goes down on that play. Hopefully it's nothing but a Charlie horse. And I say that nothing but in the sense that he can recover quickly from a Charlie horse. But more seriously than that, this could be a real serious blow to the Phantom team.
Sure is, Tim. We are going to give a player of the game to the Phoebus Phantoms tonight. In fact, we're going to pick 2 players, and those players receive trophies and shirts.
Let it roll, Scotty, because the DB is right to the right of the picture. Let's see if we can see what happens as the play. No, let it go. No, let it roll.
He was holding his leg.
Yeah. So he was underneath that pile when Lewis went over him. He's already holding his leg.
He's holding it.
Yeah, he's holding his knee. But we're happy to tell you back to the live picture. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but
that's all right.
I was trying to see what happened there. Go ahead, please finish.
We will pick a player of the game for the Phantoms tonight. We'll pick up 2 players, and they will receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World, located in the historic Hilton Village in Newport News. For all your recognition awards, trophies, and plaques, custom engraving, contact Bob Helling at 595-7354.
DJ Parker to pass for only the second time tonight. Throws it away as his intended receiver, Elan Lewis, was open, but too much pressure on Parker.
And if you mention this announcements on these player of the games at the Trophy World, you get special pricing. The shirt comes from Title Letter Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, and uniform and apparel. Call 594-0411. Talk to Dave Chubb or Terry McNamara.
So the Phantoms, unable to get the first down, will bring on Narvid, and he will kick to Daniel. And a high snap, but the kick is away. Narvid gets a good kick away. This drives Daniel all the way back to his 20-yard line. Manny Anderson misses the tackle. And Daniel is finally captured at about the 33-yard line. So in that same general area, they'll have the ball once again. Lake Taylor.
Nice kick.
Oh, it was a pretty kick all the way back to the 20-yard line. And a pretty good return by Daniel. He shows some elusiveness.
Yes, he did. Toombs has given an award to the senior player on each of the Hampton schools teams this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support of WHCS and our student athletes.
37-yard punt by Narvid. And so from their 33-yard line, And there is Jones. He's into the open. DJ Parker may have a shot at him, but he won't get him. And I look around to see there are no flags down.
Well, Tim, I thought I saw a movement again in the backfield, but there was no. Now we see a penalty come flying late after the.
A 68-yard touchdown run by Keith Jones if it holds up. And it's unsportsmanlike. That'll be against them, but I think that'll be. I'm not sure how this will play out.
Yeah, I think it's after the touchdown. The touchdown will stand.
The line of scrimmage was the 32-yard line. But now,
and it'll be on the
extra point. That's what I wanted to say here. And again, referee Brame apparently has the mic in the off switch. But anyway, this will be a long, important extra point. But Keith Jones, 68 yards. This will be a 35-yard extra point. You had talked about their kicking game being suspect. Let's see how they respond in this crucial situation. And it appears to be long enough.
And it's good.
And he got it.
Well, this doesn't look suspect to me.
That was a great kick in a clutch situation for Matt Harden, as he had to kick a 30-yard PAT. No small task, and there you see it on your screen, 14-all, as the Lake Taylor Titans have quieted this Phoebus crowd. A 68-yard Keith Jones touchdown, his 13th of the year.
But you're right about the crowd being quiet on this side. Hampton Chevrolet, one of our corporate sponsors, located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call at 838-5450. Hampton Chevrolet, Jeep, Mazda. New and used cars.
I'm telling you, that could be a huge extra point, because it was going to be a difficult situation. They would have been trailing still. Of course, there's a lot of game left, 6:26 to go in the third, and this ball is live.
But it's out of bounds.
Yeah, they couldn't get to it, but that's just like an onside kick.
Yeah.
Once that ball goes 10 yards, it's anyone's ball. And it looked like the Phantoms were a little slow reacting to that possibility. They didn't seem to be in any great hurry to get over there and cover the ball, but it might have just been it was just so rapidly going out of bounds it wouldn't have mattered. But that ball will go actually out of bounds at the 39-yard line, and that's where they'll mark it for play. Here's you see the ball. And it's just quickly going out of bounds, but there was a Lake Taylor player closer to it than a Phantom.
Well, in all fairness, that Lake Taylor player was running in that direction,
right,
and the Phantom had to turn and go to that position. They're going to kick again?
So, well, yeah, they're going to make him kick it again. I would have taken it at the 30.
Oh, John Trouse is over there checking on the mic with the referee. Well, this is a big break for the Titans, Tim.
We're going to get Mr.
We get Trouse on camera there?
Oh, yeah, he was on it. Trying to get referee Brame's microphone functioning so he can explain this stuff to us. So
I think he's got it in his hand.
Yep. He might have just given it up.
Brain said, listen, get out of here. Unless you got on a helmet, get out of here.
Well, we'll see. In any event, they will do over the kick. And this will be very similar, as the ball will go way out of bounds at this time at the 38-yard line. Actually, the Phantoms will lose yardage on that choice.
No, the ball is not spotted where it goes out of bounds.
They can't get it that way?
No.
Well, they get it to 35 automatically if it goes out of bounds. But I guess the Phantoms are still hoping to get it further downfield. Now, we got a mic on them.
Dead ball. Procedure. And penalty. Please declare. First down.
They're going to take it right where it went out of
Right,
bounds.
because it would be on there.
34. I don't know. I didn't quite understand why they didn't take it the first time. I guess they were just hoping for a run back. So the Phantoms will get it at the 35-40.
Phantoms will take possession. First and 10 at their own 40-yard line.
And let's see how they respond now as the Phantoms had the lead, lost it, regained the lead, and now have gone back to a tie.
And the DB's not in there.
This is Phillip Brown on the flanker around, and he got a yard maybe. Did not fool Lake Taylor. In fact, Lake Taylor came up with a football, but they're saying the play was dead. So the Phantoms trying to mix things up a little bit and put some creativity into the offense. They gain about 2 on the play, second down and 8.
Ball will be marked.
When they get that 9 and 10 man up on that line of scrimmage, a good job was to fake the handoff inside and hit their tight end. But I see right now Phantoms have got 2 wide receivers.
This is Maurice Boone on the fake. The throw incomplete, thrown behind the intended receiver, and that was Darnell Allen who was the intended receiver, but the ball thrown behind him.
Well, he was being harassed.
Oh, yeah. Well, Parker did a great job, and that really could have been caught. It was not that far off the mark, but a tough catch it would have been. So it's third down and 8 now, so the Phantoms have been stymied the 2 times they've had the ball here in the third quarter. And Lake Taylor's responded with a touchdown to tie the ball game at 14. Parker, swing pass, far side, and this is
Maurice Boone.
And Boone bounces off a tackler. He's still going. He's got the first down.
Oh, nice job by the senior.
Let's not get too much celebration because they'll throw a flag on you in a heartbeat. You're not allowed to enjoy a play like that.
You're not supposed to just, put the ball down, go back in the huddle.
11 yards.
Nice run after the catch.
What a play. Watch this. This was a lateral. This ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Right there, Boone says, you're not taking me down. I'm getting 5 more yards in the first down. I'm going to go back to state. This is Boone now filling in for the injured Adibi, and Boone carries the ball. He is down after a gain of about 4 yards.
Now Boone moves to tailback. Lewis moves up to fullback.
And I'm trying to see if Adibi, he was on the bench early. He's still on the bench. He's being taken out of the ball game, at least for the time being. Pickup of a little more than 3. Second down, let's call it 7. And Boone now all of a sudden becomes the main man as he's got the ball very close to another first down. Golden in on the stop. But Maurice Boone, and I've got some stats on this young man. He's been an outstanding player for the Bill D's team this year. 96 carries, 618 yards, averages almost 62 yards per game, and averages better than 6 yards a carry.
Well, Chetney, number 73, one of the starting offensive tackles, came limping off.
This will be well short of a first down from this particular angle. He's going to be a couple of feet short, more like a yard. So not even close, although when it is within a yard, you have the right to ask for a measurement. So it is just second down after the 9-yard pickup. Ball marked at the 38-yard line. Need to get to the 37. Normally you'd have a DB doing it but he's not in there. DJ Parker. Parker picks up the first down and plenty more as he is down close to the 30-yard line.
That picked up about 7 on that play.
He did. Almost 8. Watch this play. The fake to the pitch, and then DJ Parker just follows the offensive line. Did a great job of blocking and moving the defensive line from Lake Taylor. So now the clock moving with a little more than 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 14-14. This is Elan Lewis and he'll pick up about 3 to the 27-yard line. So the Phantoms now know that every time they touch the ball, they've got to secure it and keep moving forward.
Right, and one thing about Lewis playing fullback, this is a position that he has played before, so he can go from fullback to tailback and the Phantoms not lose anything.
On the option, DJ Parker keeps, and Parker picks up yardage close to the first down at the 20-yard line.
Depends on the mark, but I believe he got a first down.
Well, if they mark it on the 20, he did. That should be a first down.
Well, why is that
what?
not?
Wait a minute. What are they not? What am I missing here?
Well, I think they're finally going to.
Now they finally realize that it's either.
No, it's a timeout.
Yeah, but. Well, the ball is almost on the 20, and the yard marker's at.
Well, if you see.
Well, you know, it's off the line. It fooled me last time we did a game here. I thought I was right on top of it, and the yard markers are so far off of the sideline. They stay a good yard and a half, 2 yards away from it, so it can be misleading. It's very close. I'm surprised they didn't. They called for a measurement last time, and it was a yard short.
Yeah, good point.
But if you don't ask for the measurement, and if the officials deem it to be not close enough to measure, they won't. But I swear that'd be worth a request for a measurement. Ball is almost on the 20-yard line.
Well, but if you look over here,
it's at the 30.
It's at the 30, yeah. So
I don't know. This chain gang has messed me up before. It is third and less than a yard, and Elan Lewis will get that yard and plenty more. He is down to the 18-yard line, almost the 17-yard line. And it'll be another first down for the Phantoms. Move the chains for sure. There you see the scoreboard, 3:06. Clock stopped momentarily while they advance the chains, and now it'll restart. 14-14. Phoebus led 7-0, then it was tied at 7. They led 14-7, and then it was tied at 14. That's where we are. And Boone bounces off a would-be tackler, gets away from another one, and picks up yardage to about the 16.5-yard line.
I tell you, he was hit. He looked like a pinball going through there because he was hit in the backfield. Watch this.
He's only
right
5'9", 155 pounds, but he had to be wrestled to the ground before he would go down. That was Julius Herring, 99, on the stop.
Well, Boone comes out, and Philip Brown is now in the tailback position.
Well, with the DB out of there, he's on the bench. He's not even standing. He is on the bench with his leg up. This is Parker on the keeper, and Parker will get across the 15, close to the 14-yard line, but they need to get all the way down to the 8-yard line.
That was a time when he made this cut up. If he could have turned back around right now and pitched the ball, Brown was wide open, but, you know, at that point, you're being people all over the top of you. There's a good shot of Mike Hauser and Bob Killen.
Well, and also you might have been able to see mud coming up off of his feet when he was making that cut. So the footing is less than perfect down there. This is the option again, DJ Parker, and he's still going. He's still going. He may have a first down.
And I believe he does.
They've got him down close to the 8-yard line, which is right near the marker. But again, they're so far off of that sideline, it's deceiving.
That is a first down.
So they've advanced the chains, and a great effort by DJ Parker. He didn't get our player of the game last time for nothing.
We got a injured player on the field there for the Titans.
Lake Taylor player is down there. You see him being attended to. Ball is just inside the 8-yard line. First and goal for the Phantoms. Phantoms trying to repeat for just the second time by a Peninsula District team. Hampton was the last team to do it. Back-to-back, and of course that was during the Ron Curry era. But there you see the player being attended to. Hopefully it's just a cramp, and we always say, and that's Keith Jones. That would be a huge loss to them. If he was unable to go, he'll have to come out for at least one play. Those that may not be familiar with the rules, if you take the player out for a play, you're not charged with the timeout. But if you did leave him in, they would be charged with a timeout. Obviously, they've stopped the play for his injury.
WHCS Channel 46 presents your school board meetings live on the first and third Wednesdays of each month at 7:30 p.m. So tune in and be informed.
Adibi has now put the jacket on, and he is not going to be returning to this game apparently. And so we'll see how this works out. This is Philip Brown, and Brown bowls his way down to the goal line. My gracious, what great second effort.
And he got the touchdown.
They say he got in.
All right, Philip Brown. What a nice job. And they got another Titan that's slow getting up.
Phantom going over and helping him up. What a nice gesture of sportsmanship.
Yeah, that's Darnell Allen.
But with 1:17 remaining in the third quarter, we have seen a gutsy reaction by this Phoebus team as Adibi has come out, and Philip Brown and Maurice Boone have just really picked up the slack. And the extra point try by Mickle is good. And so the Phantoms regain the lead 21-14 over Lake Taylor. 1:17 to go in the third quarter. That was a great drive.
And that was a great drive.
It was. Here's the replay. Watch Brown here. I mean, he was stopped twice. And then they still didn't register the touchdown right away, and then they finally agreed that it was.
Well, I mean, he's in the end zone. He's got the ball.
Well,
but in all fairness, you know, you're blocked out sometimes as an official.
You don't know whether his knee might have touched down before he got in, you know, but the officials did rule it that way. I'm sure the coaching staff for Lake Taylor didn't see it the same way. But in any event, thank you. That was a 60-yard drive. 11 plays, took 5 minutes and 9 seconds. Thank you very much. So now the Phantoms will have to show if they can do the job on defense like they have all year. This team has given up 14 points tonight, but 7 of those were on a turnover, and the other on a big play of 68 yards. This is taken at the 13-yard line, and they say it did.
Yeah.
They say that his knee went down. The official emphatically pointing to the 13-yard line. And
I thought his knee went down, but I couldn't see at this angle.
It was very close. Let's see from our vantage.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt that knee was down.
And, of course, in high school football, you cannot not get up once you have the ball in your possession. If your knee touches the ground, that's it. It's dead. I personally don't agree. I don't think it hit the ground. I don't think his knee went completely to the ground. That's just my opinion, and it was a difficult shot to see. There you see a little bit of wind here, but not much. And down on the field where the little ribbons hang off of the goalposts, they've virtually been dead. Now, this is the first sign. See the little ribbon down there? First sign tonight of any kind of breeze.
No big ribbon, just little
Just little ribbon. That's about the worst field position that the Titans have had tonight. They're inside their 15. And again, this is Sturdivant all the way out to the 41-yard line. A big first down for the Titans.
Well, they have found something in that defensive line.
That blocking scheme is really paying off for them. Watch this. I mean, Sturdivant, he was on his way. 29-yard pickup to the 42-yard line. So you're right, 2 big running plays, a 68-yard touchdown, and now 29 yards on that play from Sturdivant. He's a big boy, too. Sturdivant, don't have his stats, but he's 220 pounds. I would say he's 6'1", 220. He's a big kid. Well, and that's the only reason he didn't go all the way is he wasn't quite as quick as they'd like him to be.
Well, not only that, but he was making a cut to avoid one of the tacklers and was caught from behind as he slowed down to make that cut.
Sturdivant gets upended this time after a 1-yard gain. Second down at 9 as the clock moves. We are down to 22 seconds remaining in the third quarter. In this seesaw contest, neither team has been able to lead by more than a touchdown. Actually, Lake Taylor has never led. That looked like he was down there for certain. And the defense says, we'll make sure
we'll make sure you're down. Good point.
So that will be the final play of the third quarter. As you watch the replay, this pitch and nothing happening as the defense was there.
That just didn't look good. I mean, the play just didn't look good from this onset.
So after 3 quarters, our score, Phoebus 21 and Lake Taylor 14. As we get set to start the fourth quarter here, one of these teams will be finished for the season. Right now, though, we're not quite finished for the season. We'll go down to the sideline. Let's see if Ron Baton has something special for us just one last time.
Down and a long 11 for the Tigers back at their own 41.
Go Phantoms, go! Go Pete! Go Edge! Go Edge! Go P-H-S! Go P-H-S! Go Phantoms, go!
The cheerleaders bundled up on this very chilly evening, temperature in the 50s. The saving grace is a lack of any appreciable wind, as we've referred to on several occasions. Fourth quarter, started to say at the end of the third, this is the final quarter for one of these two teams. Third down and 11 for the Titans. Burke wants to throw, completes the pass, and it's a short gain. Nice Jennison Jenkins making the stop. The completed pass to Jones, but well short of the first down. Now we saw at the beginning of the third quarter with a fourth down and about 2, we saw Lake Taylor go for it, and they appear to be doing that again.
Yeah, I don't look for him to punt. He hasn't punted.
Now they look like they are going to punt. Now they'll apparently, and I use that because you have already mentioned that they are subject to trickery. They've now brought on the punting team, and now the Phantoms are late responding and do get the team on in time. Golden gets a high snap, bobbled it. He's going to run with it. Golden is trying to get the first down. He's got the first down
and
across
I
the
knew
45. Late flag.
That flag was not. It was holding.
Holding against the Titans. What a huge break that'll be, because that would have been a first down. Watch this. That was, again, a bobbled snap. But Golden, who has great speed, you won't see the holding because it occurred after he was by. A clip? Okay. Say there's a clip instead. They indicated holding. And the referee is explaining to Golden what happened. We'll let him explain to us. Holding is the indication. So it will remain fourth down, but now, and that would have been a first down. He made the first down by a good 2 yards. Now you're talking fourth down and 15, 16, maybe 17 yards.
What a big penalty.
We just heard that Kickingham is demolishing Booker T. Washington 28-0 late in that ball game. So Golden this time will kick it away. It's a bad kick off the side of his foot. It'll take a roll for the Titans all the way down to the 37-yard line, but that ball rolled 15 yards, and Golden comes up limping.
Yeah, he is got hurt earlier, got shaken up a little bit, but I tell you, he has played one whale of a ball game.
19-yard punt, and he got 18 of those yards on the roll because it really did give him a benefit of the roll. So the Phantoms now will have it at their 38-yard line, leading 21-14. Both teams, Phoebus has 3 timeouts. Lake Taylor has 2 remaining here in the second half. This is Maurice Boone, and he's in the open. Maurice Boone, one man to beat, and he will get tackled, but not until he gets to the 42-yard line. So has the momentum shifted now?
Well, I tell you, I'm impressed with Boone.
Well, Boone has impressed me all year. He's been such a versatile part of this team. 22-yard gain. As you watch the replay, he just had to get by the one man. That was Adrian Daniel, who stopped it from going all the way. They mark him down at the 40-yard line.
Well, and, you know, he might have been able to cut the other way, but
and this is Philip Brown, and Brown picks up 11 yards.
Well, I tell you what, those two guys playing tailback are running like they got fresh legs.
Watch this replay. And there's some great blocking going on in there, too.
Well, I'm impressed with Brown because he runs as fast backwards as you and I could run forward.
And now Lake Taylor is going to spend their second timeout, and the referee is being asked to come over and hear Coach Hank Sawyer tell him what he thinks about what might be going on out there. This is an interesting situation. You see it in your picture. That's the Coach Sawyer asking for the ear of referee Brame. And to Brame's credit, he didn't have to listen to him, but he's choosing to do so, and I give him credit for that.
Second half is brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, conveniently located at the Hampton Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue. For a tour of the facilities, stop by or give them a call at 827-4670. Nancy Staten is the manager. And, of course, second half is also brought to you in part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. Mark and Kenny, they're on call 24 hours a day with emergency service, only $45. They give you free estimates on all new installations. Give them a call at 825-1416 or 850-5564.
Referee Brame was very patient. In fact, I thought he was going to make some kind of announcement to us, but he was making sure the switch was in the right position or something. But he gave audience to Coach Sawyer, and Sawyer had his nickels worth, or 2 cents worth at least. And then Boone gets the call. So it's been Boone and Brown, and Elan Lewis has become a non-entity here in the second half.
He's not a non-entity. He's doing the blocking from the fullback position, but for running the ball.
I mean, for running the ball. This is the young man with almost 1,200 yards on the season.
Well, this is not a one-dimension team.
No, it never has been. And they averaged almost 300 yards a game rushing the ball, but have been pretty much held in check up until this part of the game. This is Brown, and Brown turns the corner and picks up almost 10 yards. He's close to another first down.
I think just a little bit short. Zoom says your Beantown coffee, your fried chicken, your potato wedges, Krispy Kreme donuts, and get them like Tim likes them as we watch the replay of boxing one, ham and cheese subs, Coke, and that good Citgo gasoline. Give them a call. Just stop by and get some of that good food.
Third and less than a yard at the 20-yard line. DJ Parker just bowls his way forward. He's still going, and he's got a first and goal at the 6-yard line. So you might say right now the Titans are on their heels as the Phantoms have taken over control of the offensive line, and they're just blowing holes in the defense.
Watch this. I mean, he just keeps right on running.
15-yard pickup on third and less than a yard. So DJ Parker has the Phantoms on the doorstep of the goal line again. And this is Philip Brown. Brown, touchdown!
That's 2 for Philip Brown.
Back to back for Philip Brown.
And how big is that penalty, Tim? How big is that penalty?
Huge penalty. And that ball would have been a first down for Lake Taylor. Instead, they end up giving the ball after a short punt to the Phantoms, and the Phantoms make them pay. They lead 27-14. And Jason Mickle will try the extra point. And we're looking at a very likely Football-Phoebus all-regional next Friday night here at Darling Stadium. Now a late flag comes down. Got encroachment.
Encroachment.
So that'll be half the distance. The Phantoms may just elect to refuse the penalty. They're apparently not in any mood to go for 2 anyway.
Well, if you had a DB in there, it would be a moot point.
But DB
he's got his jacket. He is up walking around, but he's got his jacket on. You'll see him down there, right down there standing next to number 22.
Right. Well, it's good news to see him walking, and I don't see any appreciable limp. But they will try for 2.
Well, only because it was a bad center.
Yep.
Bad snap.
In any event, the score will remain 27-14, but the momentum, as you watch the replay here, this is the touchdown. This is Philip Brown. It's been the Brown and Boone show ever since the DB went out.
Is that like M&M only B&B?
That's the B&B. And that was a 62-yard play. It just took 6 plays and a $148. Thank you very much.
We gotta get that young man's name.
I'm telling you.
What do we got here? Yeah, I don't like candy corn, but thanks anyway.
Thanks a lot.
You can have mine.
Okay.
Thank you, Bobby.
All right. 27-14, 9 minutes remaining in regulation.
Yeah, that's right there's Xavier Debe. Good shot of him. And I know he's disappointed, but you know, we're talking about this guy's got a career in college and possibly even further on than that. You don't want to do anything that would jeopardize his career.
Kickoff taken at the 18-yard line. And returned by number 21, Philip Holloman.
Holloman is the defensive back. And that was Manny Anderson that was the first to make contact with him.
So Lake Taylor now with their backs to the wall. They're down by 13 points with less than 9 minutes remaining. And they, by the way, have used 2 of their 3 timeouts, so they only have 1 remaining. Phantoms on the other side have all 3 of their timeouts.
You mean Phoebus?
Phoebus, what did I say? Hampton? Hey, I got Hampton on the brain. Oh, Burke dumped as he threw the ball. Brown back to cover, but the ball well overthrown as Golden was the intended receiver, and Burke took a pretty good lick as he let the ball go.
That was number 82, and Manny Anderson was the other one. That was Stephen Friday.
Got his legs just as he threw the ball. There you see how far over the head of both the intended receiver and the defender. So a second down and 10. Clock stops with 8:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. Second down and 10. Burke sends 2 wide receivers to the near side. On the option, Burke wants to pitch but decides he'll get good yardage by holding onto the ball and picks up almost a first down. In fact, it will be a first down as they mark his forward progress to the 44-yard line. They mark the ball at the Lake Taylor 44-yard line. Now the Phantoms can give up a little yardage. They can play a little soft, but you don't want to get them back in this game because they're only 1 touchdown and then you've got an onside kick. And we've already seen the explosiveness of this team, a 68-yard touchdown and a substantial gain earlier by Sturdivant of 22. And nothing happening as Jones is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage on a good defensive stop by the interior of the defensive line. See if we can. That was Manny Anderson being helped up.
Yeah, but that was Quincy McWright, number 89, who was the initial tackler right there. No, I don't know who it was. It was somebody underneath the pile, one of the defensive tackles.
Clock shows less than 8 minutes now as time becomes precious. Second down and 10. Lake Taylor needs points and they need some first downs and yardage. Burke rolling, wants to pass. Has time, throws, completes the pass. And it's at midfield to about the 48-yard line. It won't be a first down. It'll be third down and short. I'm not sure why. I guess he got out of bounds.
Yeah, he evidently got out of bounds. And he's using a rolling pocket.
Just got to the sidelines at the Phoebus 48-yard line.
Johnny Paul's sitting right there in the middle of your screen. Used to be the head football coach at the Kecoughtan High School.
7 of 12 passing for Burke for 60 yards on the night. Mike Hauser and Bob Killen providing us with up-to-minute stats. Appreciate that. Third down and 2. Four down territory, needless to say. Burke throws and completes the pass. And the pass completed to Daniel. As we're told, there's a hint of some rain starting to fall as well. I don't know how Andy knows that.
Andy knows all and sees all, doesn't tell all.
I see an umbrella going up, so I think he's onto something.
Somebody had to come and tell him.
Well, to our satisfaction, at least most of this game has been rain-free. So the first down recorded on the pass play. This is Burke on the option, and nothing happening as they had that one smelled out.
Number 28 for the Phantoms, Brandon Seminaro, he just sandwiched him along with somebody else.
So that will be a loss of a couple of yards, and just as importantly, got a player shaken up, however.
No, I just needed to stretch out.
Oh, okay. Is that Lewis? Yeah, Elan Lewis. Now he'll have to come out because if they stopped it or not. Yeah, he'll have to come out for a play because the officials felt like he needed some attention. Maurice Boone will come in real quickly on defense.
We have your attention, please, Teresa Powell. Would you please report to your parents?
Watch your replay. This is the option. You see Burke toss it back.
Oh, great job.
Didn't look good on the second time we saw it. Burke feels some pressure, gets away from one man, now throws downfield. It's tipped and almost intercepted by Philip Brown. Just couldn't quite get a hand on it.
Well, I tell you, he was under a lot of pressure that time. Burke was. Got away from one of the tacklers, but that brings up a third down and long. But at this point in the game, Tim, it's 4 downs.
Watch
right
Burke
there.
just got away from one. And then watch the ball tipped, and then Brown just couldn't quite get a hand on it. Looked like the young man that was putting that pressure on him big time, that was Stephen Friday, 82, who was back there amongst others. But it is third down and 12.
Over Ocean Lake, 7:21 remaining in the fourth quarter. Deep Creek 26, Ocean Lakes 21.
Burke, again, double wides to the right. Split backfield. Burke's just got it away, and it's complete to Golden. And Golden is tripped up. He almost had some running room, Bob. If he had gotten into the open, he might have gone.
Well, he was. If you notice, he was coming back against the grain. But I'm impressed with Burke passing that ball, Tim, with people hanging on him.
Well, and passing was not a big part of his game.
I mean,
oh yeah. Now watch this. If he gets past that tackle, he might have gone. But might have, should have, would have, and all that good stuff. It's fourth down and almost 7. But on the season, Burke, 44 out of 102. Not really a great passing percentage, about 44%. 782 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's never been in a bigger play than he is right now. Fourth and about 6.5, almost 7. Short drop. Flags down, incomplete pass. If it's
here comes a flag.
And that
he was bumped.
Well, it might be offsetting. Let's see. Now, don't do something silly, guys. Don't complain to the officials. But we had a flag on the original play, which I believe is illegal procedure. So they may offset, and it might be fourth down all over again. But we'll let the officials unravel this. This comes with 5:28 remaining.
We have motion on the
Legal
offense,
shift.
pass interference on the defense. Those penalties offset.
We have offsetting penalties.
One is not. But they will offset, and it'll still be fourth down. So that was a big break for them, Lake Taylor, because the illegal procedure, had there not been that pass interference downfield, it'd be Phoebus ball right now. But again, if, would, should, could, and all that good stuff.
You got that down pretty fast.
Yeah, I almost got that. So again, a huge fourth down play for Lake Taylor. No appreciable rain at this point, we're happy to say. Blitz coming, and Burke off balance throws, incomplete. And this time I do not see any yellow hankies. It'll be Phoebus football.
And
right
that
at
was
their 40.
That was Elon Lewis putting the pressure on Burke that time.
Watch your replay. Burke rolling in the grasp, throws, and it's off the fingertips of Golden, harmlessly to the ground, incomplete. And now the Phantoms, whose only goal at this point will be to burn 5 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock.
I got a cramp.
Medic! Get a medic in here.
I think I've been running out there.
I think he's cramped up here. will get Killen over here and get you stretched. Loose football. I believe the Phantoms got it back. No official indication yet. Lake Taylor says they've got it. Phoebus says they've got it, so we'll wait for the only people whose opinion really counts, and that's the Zebras. And they're going to stop the play for a moment to, well, I'm not sure why. I guess they're going to try and figure out who finally ended up with the ball underneath all of the pilot.
And
they say Lake Taylor got it. So don't go home yet, folks. We've got almost 5 minutes remaining, and Lake Taylor has new life. There's my partner. He's trying to stretch the ham.
What? I was so anxious on that last play. That thing just whoop.
Cramped up.
Oh, I'm still cramped. Can I get a massage?
Don't look at me. We can get Killen or Hauser over here.
They're ignoring me.
They heard you say you wanted a massage. All right. Importantly, the Lake Taylor team recovered that loose football, so they've got a new fresh set of downs at the Phoebus 45-yard line. Burke throwing up for grabs. Caught at the 27-yard line. A first down for the Lake Taylor Titans.
This game ain't over yet, fellas.
They'll stop the clock while they move the chains, but they will have the ball 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Who made that reception?
That was number 7. That was Clarence Clanton, number 7, who made the grab.
Well, he just outfought the defender over on that side.
Just kind of threw it up for grabs, and Clanton came down with it. Clock is restarted, 4:40 to go. Handoff, no, Burke still has the football, and he is tripped up, but not until he gets another first down at the 13-yard line.
Good call that time. If you're the Phantoms on defense, you're looking for either the pass or for the nice fake that time, but he's looking for the man going up the middle. Looking for Jones or Sturdivant.
I'm impressed with Mr. Burke tonight. He has done a great job of running and controlling this ball, of passing as well, but his running has been a superb addition here in the second half. First down at the Phoebus 13-yard line. And this time, the ball carrier is Sturdivant, and Sturdivant, with a good second effort, gets it to the 10-yard line. But more importantly right now, the clock continues to move on these running plays. When they stay in bounds like this, it's a big factor. 4:15, and the clock is moving as you see the play from the ground level. Sturdivant in the grasp of
Semineros.
Semineros at 22.
28.
Second down and about 7. Burke on the pitch to Keith Jones, and Jones will be dragged down. Did he stay in bounds?
Yes.
He only got a yard, but as importantly, the clock continues to move.
And the also important is that the Titans only have one timeout left.
.109 yards on 14 carries for Keith Jones. Yeah, and 68 of those came on the touchdown.
Nice tackle that time by Jenkins.
So Jones has done his job. He's got his yardage and the touchdown, but his team still trails by 13. 3:20 to go. Burke is going to loft it up, and it's picked off. Manny Anderson. Manny Anderson at the 1-yard line with the interception.
Well, Tim, what happened that time, as soon as Burke was throwing the ball, he was hit.
Well, that was the same young man's name who you mentioned a few minutes ago, Seminario. Hit the quarterback as the quarterback released the ball, and Brown came up with the interception.
I thought Brown came up with it.
That's what I said, Brown. Brown came up with the interception.
I thought he was in the end zone, but he's not in the end zone.
No, he fell down on the 1-foot line. He was not in the end zone. Had he been in the end zone, it would come out to the 20. But he went down just outside the goal line. Now the Phantoms have to be careful. DJ Parker will just keep it on the quarterback keeper to get a little running room as he is driven back into the end zone, but his forward progress will get him out almost to the 3.
Yeah, we're down about 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, and see, this is really playing into the hands of the Phantoms. We're under 3 minutes remaining. And again, because Lake Taylor had to call 2 timeouts earlier, They have just one remaining, and they can't burn it at this point.
I'm going to try to sit down again. If I kick you, I'm apologizing in advance.
Okay, well, that seems fair. 2nd down and 8 after a gain of 2. But as importantly, the clock continues to move. DJ Parker, handoff to the scrum, if you will, and that is Elan Lewis. And Lewis gets out close to the 10-yard line. He'll be a yard short of a 1st down.
What a great, and this is a young man who can squat 655 pounds.
He just carried about 400 pounds on his back out to the 9-yard line. 3rd down and 2. But as importantly, we are under 2 minutes remaining. Just want to make sure, if nothing else, you secure that football. That's a 1st down for the Phantoms. That might have been the nail.
The nail?
In the coffin.
Well, we got to be thinking of our players of the game.
Oh, my gosh. We don't have a few to choose from, do we? Yep, I totally agree. And yeah, I know. I liked your first idea.
Okay, my other thought was.
Yeah. I like that. And who? Okay. All right, the Titans have taken their final timeout, and with the 1st and 10, the Phantoms can run 3 downs. Now you can see, or maybe you can't see, I can see Coach Hank Sawyer again. There you see him now, huddled with referee Brame and another official. And I'll give referee Brame a lot of credit. He doesn't have to listen to the coaches, but in all fairness, he is listening to them.
There's a good shot of Phyllis Henry, principal at Phoebus High School. She's going down and she's rallying the troops, Scotty says.
Well,
but troops aren't paying much attention to her, but no, I'm just kidding.
Haven't heard an updated score, but the last thing we heard, and of course when the fans see this game, they'll know the result, but I understand Kecoughtan was ahead 28-0. So if they hold on, and if Phoebus holds on, we've got an all-peninsula final next Friday night here at Darling Stadium, and I, for one, would hope to see this place filled to the rafters.
Well, if it isn't, I'll be very, very surprised, and I'm very surprised at the poor showing for the Titans, Tim. I mean, they've got a great, great team.
They really do. This has been a battle, and now we've got whistles and a flag before the play.
We may have movement before the snap of the ball, which would stop the ball.
So illegal motion against the Phantoms comes with 1:47 left in regulation. Phantoms leading 27-14. Hoping to advance to the regional final championship game next Friday night here at Darling Stadium.
I was noticing the coaches on the sideline trying to get the band to be quiet so that they can hear the.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a final. The Kecoughtan Warriors over the Washington Bookers, 28-0.
So it is a final. Kecoughtan will be in the regional finals. As the ball came loose, that ball has not been blown dead. And shaken up on the play was Brown. He went down very awkwardly, and then another Phoebus player also went down awkwardly, and he is slow to get up. So, boy, I'm telling you, if Brown were lost as well, this would be a huge blow. Not just for tonight, but for the future. Yeah, that's Philip Brown who's down. He went down very awkwardly on the play. See if we can see what happened.
Well, he was running through, making a nice move right here. But they stripped the ball, and there he got double-teamed and got a leg kind of bent underneath him a little bit.
Boy, let's hope that's just a little bit of a bent leg and not a broken something.
Well, and Xavier Little, number 66, is coming off with a little bit of help.
That was the other player I saw shaken up. So the Phantoms holding their collective breath right now with Xavier Adibi's condition for next week in doubt. He left early in the third quarter. I believe it was the third quarter, wasn't it? Yeah, he didn't. Yeah. It was the third quarter, and has not returned. And now another huge component. And by the way, we have chosen our players of the game watch on the replay if you can just see what happens. He gets upended. See how he just took a real somersault. And he will be helped off the field with no pressure on that right leg. That is not good news for the Phantoms. But our players of the game, and believe me, we had a long list of candidates.
Oh, you got that right.
From DJ Parker to the aforementioned Philip Brown and many others. But our players of the game, and we're going to give them two. Manny Anderson, who just came up with that huge interception a moment ago.
On defense.
And Maurice Boone, who came in and sparked the offense in the third and fourth quarter when a DB went out. And boy, I'm telling you something, I hope that's not as serious as it looks. Yeah, we know who it is. That's a huge factor in the success of the future of this Phoebus team. But they did lose the ball. There was a turnover, and now going all the way down to the 1 yard line. So the Brown fumble resulted in the change of possession, and lost in all of the injury situation was the fact the fumble did occur. So now Lake Taylor with a 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. And this one isn't over yet, folks. It's not an all Peninsula District game next week yet. Kecoughtan could be hosting this Lake Taylor team. Burke is not going to get in. That's a huge play on.
Oh, he really is.
Because the clock will continue to move. Don't forget now, they need 2 touchdowns.
Well, Tim, he tried a quarterback sneak, and he was just stuffed. There was nowhere for him to go.
That was a great defensive effort to keep him out of the end zone, because it was 2nd and goal at the 1, or 1st and goal at the 1. Now it's 2nd and goal at the 2. And this time a walk-in as the handoff to Keith Jones and the touchdown with 56 seconds remaining. A 2-yard run for Jones, his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. And this game ain't over yet, because we've got a sure as you can count on an onside kick coming up. A very important extra point here, with the difference being at this juncture 7 points. This could make it 6. And it's long enough, and it's good. So don't go away, folks. It's 27-21 with an onside kick for certain coming up here.
Well, you don't have to be rocket scientists to figure that out.
When you consider now, we talked about this a little earlier, when they had that somewhat bizarre looking kick to begin the second half, it was a case where the Lake Taylor team was closer to the ball as it went out of bounds. So you've got to look at the situation as you watch the touchdown, just a walk-in for Keith Jones. They sealed the left end there, and Jones just walked in. His 14th touchdown of the season, the 2nd of the ball game. Philip Brown with a pair of touchdowns in this game. But Brown was carried off the field moments ago after fumbling. And I'm trying to see. That was an 18-yard drive, 3 plays, 50 seconds, and it didn't take them long. But you've got no timeouts for Lake Taylor, 2 for the Phantoms. Lake Taylor has to recover this ball, because otherwise the Phantoms just take a knee. They have to.
The game is virtually over if the onside is not successful.
And again, most of you are that are watching this are certainly aware of the rules. I'll just repeat them for those that might not be. Once the ball goes 10 yards, it is anyone's football. Whoever recovers it, it belongs to them. Now, there's 2 things going on here. A, Lake Taylor has to recover the ball in order to have a chance, and then they have to go and score, which isn't easy against this great defense from Phoebus. But the Phantoms look to be a little bit, I'm not sure how to say this, just uncertain of themselves after that fumble by Brown when he was shaken up. And they just gave up the touchdown pretty relatively easy, except for that one play, which might have been a huge difference. There's so many plays in this game that could have been important when you consider they didn't get in right away for a 1st and goal at the 1. They had to burn almost 30, 40 seconds to get into the end zone.
That's a good point.
So you got less than a minute remaining, but everyone in the whole world knows this ball is going 10 yards. And we've got whistles and what do we got?
We got penalty.
Penalty flag. That was a good-looking attempt.
The number 11 for the Phantoms Darnell Allen came up with the ball.
And I'll tell you one thing. Coach Hank Sawyer has been in the officials' faces, and he is right now. You'll see Bill D as he points in that direction. But on the far side of the field, Coach Sawyer is about to get himself a 15-yard penalty. I don't know how much patience these officials can have in listening to his point of view, and I won't say that he's unjustified in some of his points, but there's a point in time when the officials are going to say, that's it. He's still arguing. He might feel that he's been slighted because they're from the other side of the water, but this is a mixed crew.
Well, basically, it's not. The only mix is Adamowski.
All these guys from the south side?
No, all the guys are from the peninsula.
Adamowski's from the peninsula.
Yeah. Reesbeck is from the peninsula.
So what do you mean by Adamowski is the only one that isn't?
No, he's the only one.
That ball's loose.
He's the only one.
They got what they wanted. They got the football.
This is not his crew. He's normally on McCullough's
I understand.
crew.
When I say mixed, I mean from one side of the water or not.
Oh, I don't know. Could be.
So Adamowski and Riesbeck are from this side of the water. But lost in all of our discussion, an onside kick. Watch, is going to hit one of the Phantoms and bounce right off of him back to the Lake Taylor team, and they've got the football. So hold everything. 51 seconds remaining. Phantoms with 2 timeouts left. A 6-point ball game. Right.
Well, they're going to put the ball up in the air. They can't run the ball, I don't think, Tim.
No, they really can't afford to do so. Burke is going to loft it up. He's got a man open, Golden, and DJ Parker knocks it away at the last second. So we have to look down the field and back in the backfield each time to make sure there aren't any penalty flags. There were none on that play. 44 seconds remaining. So half of next weekend's matchup is complete. But at this point, one of these two teams will take on Kecoughtan here next Friday night. Warriors have men way deep. They got DJ Parker is 15 yards off the line of scrimmage as 2 other of his counterparts. They'll give you the short pass. They'll give you that run.
And I think that's a mistake.
Well, it would sure appear to be with no timeouts left. The clock will continue to move until they either get another play off or spike the ball, which you can do in high school.
Well, if you spike it, then you take away one of your downs,
I
and it
understand.
makes the 4th down.
It is 3rd down and 7. Burke has to get a 1st down here. Over the middle, he's got Golden, and Golden is wrapped up, and he'll be taken down with 10 seconds to go. The clock will start when they reset the chains, so they'll have at least one more play. They can spike the ball. Once they've got the chains in position, they can start the clock, and they will. 10 seconds on the clock. And they spike the ball, stopping the clock with 6 seconds. Time for at least one play.
And you got to go to the end zone. One thing you got to be careful of with the Phantoms, Tim, a defensive foul, you cannot end the game or half on a defensive foul.
It all comes down to this last play. Lake Taylor, give them credit. They have never quit. They were down by 13 points. They got the touchdown they needed after the turnover, and they got the onside kick. There you see Bill D. Give them anything but a touchdown or a defensive penalty. Rushing just 3. Burke will throw it up for grabs. It's down in the end zone. Golden is there. Ball is, what is it? Incomplete?
No, it's intercepted. And number 3 intercepted, and that is Bellamy, I think. Well, I mean, this was not over until the last second.
I'm wanting to make certain, and now they hold the ball over the referee's head to indicate that. I wasn't taking that for granted. So a final desperation into the end zone pass and a couple of shaken up Lake Taylor. Watch this replay. Burke did all he could do. He threw the Hail Mary, and it is up for grabs, folks. And Golden at 6'3" leaped for the ball, and it's still up for grabs here. And it's still spinning around. Look at the ball. I think it hit the ground. I'm not sure anyone ever intercepted it.
I'm not either.
And DJ Parker, your starting quarterback and one of your key defender. DJ Parker is being helped off the field. And a couple of Lake Taylor players are still down. I don't know whether theirs are from exhaustion, disappointment, or injury. But as importantly, when Phoebus takes on Kickintan next Friday night, who's going to be available for the Phantoms?
Good point.
What a game. All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Games again.
Boone
and
Anderson. This game tonight brought to you by the following sponsors made this possible. Zoom's, your friendly neighborhood store. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. In part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home. Well, Bob, you couldn't have asked for more.
No, I tell you what, I'm so impressed with this Lake Taylor team, but you also have to be duly impressed with the Phantoms. They never gave up. You had people come in the second half and just really spark them in Brown and Boone running the ball. Real impressive.
Well, we see a Phantom being carried off the field, and is that Philip Brown? No, it is.
Yeah.
Well, and he is hobbling, and he and Xavier Adibi and DJ Parker, folks, be here next Friday night, Kickintan and Phoebus, All Peninsula Regional Final. The final score again, Phoebus 27, Lake Taylor 21. For Bob Hintz, Bob Killen, and Mike Hauser, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.